Tag Team Championship match.
Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Saturday, July 1st, 2023, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App, $ ORION NWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got WWE Money in the Bank live reactions from London. Let's go. Got a new look. Got the thumbnail done. And I actually thought that this pay-per-view was going to be on at 5 at regular time, that they do pay-per-views. But obviously forgetting that it is in London, and I was taking Paisley for an hour to 2 hour walk. And luckily, even though I posted this morning, I did not look at the time. I just figured it was going to be 5. And I'm really glad Sarah messaged. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to come back in time to be able to get the thumbnail done for this. And then after this is over, we'll probably end up doing the Mariners game against the Rays with George Kirby. So I made the thumbnail for that. It's a little bit early. But again, for wrestling fans, nothing is too early for us. We can watch matches at any single given time. Morning, day, night, it doesn't matter. Let's go, baby. Let's go. I'm just glad I got things situated here. Lenny, my boy, how are you, dude? I've been making a lot of improvements, with the channel, with different camera angles and different things. And Shep in the building, what's good? And I'm just trying to be able to mix it up for you guys to, give you guys the best presentation. And I've definitely got the baseball format and everything down too. So things are starting to kind of come together. So I hope everyone is doing good. Lenny's in the building. What's good? Sarah's in the building. What's good? And I was actually looking to see if I could find the perfect wrestling cards for the background and trying to find something that I liked. Went through about 20. These were probably the coolest ones just because they're so old. As you can see, Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels in the top left there. Very, very cool. And, if I have more time, I'll be able to get cards that will maybe match exactly kind of the flow that we have. But should be fun here today. And then I've got the Mariners and the Rays possibly in 4 hours. We'll see where we are, with the stream and how we feel after, and then we'll kind of go from there. But I hope everyone is doing good. And Sarah, you're a godsend, man, because if I would have, not had my phone on me, I'm not doing this stream. Or if I am, I'm probably coming home right now or like at 1 and then being like, holy shit, I just missed the pay-per-view. So let's get to 100 in donos. Let's do it. What's good? Finley in the building. What's good? Let's go. Yeah, man. I'll show you here. So normally when I go, this is what it's going to be. So we'll go to, like, let's say, for example, all right, we go here, right? And then I'll go here, right? And then obviously we'll have a different screen here. So for example, I'll show you. We're going to stop that, and then I'll show you here real quick. So that way you can kind of get an idea. And then normally when we go like later today, so this is what the baseball streams. So see how it's like all very streamlined. We got the scoreboard at top, cards match perfectly, bright, it looks good. And then on top of that, right, we got multiple camera angles. So boom, we want to go into some stats. I got you. Boom, we got this look here. Boom, we want to fade out and look at all the stats. We got that. And then we still got the regular look too. So pretty exciting, that I can actually do all this on the fly. But, baseball streams moving forward are going to be fire. And then I'm going to incorporate football cards when we do the football streams. So it's going to pretty much look like this moving forward. And I think it looks nice. So this is kind of what we're looking into. Giving you guys a little preview if you haven't seen what we've been doing on the other side there. And we'll go here. And I had to represent with the LA Knight. Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's go, baby. I am ready. Oh, this crowd is going to be lit, baby. Let's go. I appreciate that. And obviously, this one isn't going to be as streamlined because I was rushed. I was trying to be able to find, darker cards to kind of match up with everything, but I'm 100% okay with it. Our management, the mismanagement of the Blazers after Paul Allen died, we've never been able to give him the support that he deserves. And I get it. He was as loyal as he possibly could be. So we will give him the trade, and maybe we'll have him on the Heat. I'm hoping. I'd rather have him go to the Heat than the Clippers or the Sixers. I want him to actually have a shot to win a ring, and maybe him and Jimmy pairing up would be, a chance for them to do something like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know. We will wait and find out. Yeah, well, of course, because it's, the potential threat of him winning, or doing something special and, being able to bring people from Impulsive and his social media. But we already know what it is. I mean, I had to hit you with the LA Knight, man. I could have put anybody on the thumb, but obviously it's about the money in the bank, right? So I know we got the Bloodline and we got the Usos. There's a lot of different matches, as you can see above me there, right? A lot of intrigue on some of these matches, but really the money in the bank, I mean, it kind of feels like, would they actually consider, doing something with Logan Paul? The right answer is LA Knight. If it's not him, then who? Damian Priest? Logan Paul, Ricochet. I mean, who's going to be the guy? But it just really seems very clear that LA Knight, that's the obvious choice. But again, sometimes WWE will pull the, kind of wool over our eyes. And, we want something. And sometimes we want something, we're not going to get it all. But we did get Asuka and Ripley with the belt, so here we go. Let's go, baby. Dude, his pop in like NXT, where everyone sang this at the like top of their lungs. Everyone loves crowd participation, and it shows you. Even when you go outside of America, American fans are shitty at wrestling as far as being fans. You know what I mean? These guys don't get events as often. I get it, but just imagine if we went to London once a month, right? Do you think that the crowd would be any different? It would be the same. I think that international crowds are way better as fans because every international fan appreciates everyone, and I feel AEW fans are kind of that way as well. WWE fans sometimes, old school WWE fans, they're very stubborn and they will only stick with WWE. They won't watch anything else. They only cheer for their favorites. I mean, why not cheer for guys when they got cool music like this? You can do it for the Sami Zayns. You can do it for the man, Becky Lynch. You can do it for Seth. And obviously we know Seth being like popular, but that's a part of wrestling is the crowd participation. And I think, in the US, we need to be much better, and again, out of all the places in the United States, New York, like maybe Chicago if CM Punk is there, maybe LA, maybe not. There's not really a lot of places that you can count on the energy being wild, crazy, and great. Maybe Chicago, New York, that's it. So I'm really excited to be able to see what we got. It feels like it's going to be a mirror of Puerto Rico's crowd, probably higher. Probably a little bit more loud, and Puerto Rico's crowd was great. Just like when we, Clash of the Castle, anywhere that we go, Wales, Germany, anywhere in Europe, you already know they are going to bring the heat, bring the energy, and the only ones that do it better than maybe people in Puerto Rico or in Germany or in Europe or in Wales is the Canadian crowd. The Canadian crowd knows what's up. So I'm hoping that we're going to get a very, very lit crowd, and I just hope, we get a, better crowd participation and energy in the United States moving forward. Yeah, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. Let's go, baby. You already know what it is. Oh, you already knew it was going to be electric. You knew it. That's what makes these so, much more exciting. You know what I mean? And yes, they're going there to make money, but honestly, if you're watching from home, this is exactly what you want if you're going to pay your $5 a month for fucking Peacock for this reason only. I don't watch anything on fucking Peacock. I got it for this goddamn WWE, right? So I want to be able to see the best of the crowd and the energy when we have once a month to get together. Raw, SmackDown, NXT can be bootios from time to time, just like Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision. But as fans, we are owed the crowd and the energy. So if you're going to put the matches on the paper, the crowd's got to back it up. And you already know this crowd is going to be so much better than anywhere in the United States. Let's go. This is going to be awesome. Right. But I mean, if you're looking at the names, right? If you're looking at the names, of course, Logan Paul will have some big spots, but we would assume that they wouldn't give him, this opportunity. But at some point, they might, get some kind of belt opportunity or something crazy like this. And if they do, it's not just because of his wrestling skills, right? And a lot of people would probably be upset, but it would just for the sole purpose of getting more ratings from people that watch Impulsive and watch him on social media, the 10 to 12-year-old girls and boys that, just, drink the Prime every day and fucking drink the Kool-Aid that he's spitting at. You know what I mean? I don't think it would be good for the business, but you know what's good for the business? LA Knight. Yeah. Let's go. I mean, he's a superstar in the making. He might be the most over superstar right now in WWE. You know what I mean? He has that energy, the charisma. He's good in the ring. But again, when you have good catchphrases, right, and you got that charisma, and you got good music, people will go the extra distance if you can show that you can do it in the ring and then you can do it on the mic. Can anyone else in the ring right now spit on the mic? No. So there's the difference. You got a lot of guys that are athletes there, but who electrifies the crowd? Not the people like Ricochet necessarily that are great in the ring, but you got to be great in the ring, right? Or good in the ring, but be elite on the mic. And there's only one guy there. And sad to say, Logan Paul is probably the second best on the mic out of all these guys. So again, anytime you see title changes and opportunities, you have to think, okay, Logan Paul, social media star, right? But he also is a good athlete, right? But his talking skills and being able to be a personality like myself, I'm not like him, you know what I mean? But if you know how to spit on the mic and assassinate everyone, it's very powerful, to be able to have that skill set. And he's nowhere near being an LA Knight, yeah, right? But let's give Logan Paul the credit that he is due. He is very good on the microphone, better than we would anticipate ever to be in the ring. He is an athletic body, him and Hezbro. And some guys on social media are only social media. But when you get guys like him, Bad Bunny, obviously, being in the music biz, and then Pat McAfee obviously doing his thing, sometimes you can get surprised by guys. And I'm just hoping we get a LA Knight. Yeah, let's go, baby. Let's go. Me too. Let's go, baby. Oh, this is going to be sweet. Let's go. Oh, man. And like I said, this is early, but then again, it gives me an opportunity to watch this with you guys. And then, eventually we can get to a point where, if I end up doing the Mariners stream, I already made the thumbnail for it. So let's go. Use the ladder. Man, crowd is great. Oh. All right, there we go. There we go. I had to find the right card combination, and with everything here, I think we're better now. Looks a little bit more dark and streamlined. You got to kind of keep the theme all the same. Dark, 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 or light, light, light. White, 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 or the dark, dark, dark based on the look. So. Let's go, baby. Oh, interesting. I don't know. Yeah, I saw that. I did see. I haven't listened to it, but I did see that. I mean, lots of people are getting their names out there. You know, you're getting rappers and singers throwing in Otani, you know, in their songs and in their raps, you know, Otani being so crazy. And yeah, you're definitely getting wrestlers like Shinsuke getting a little bit of love too. That's all. It's always cool to, you know, to be able to get shouted out, you know, regardless. I guess it just depends on who the rapper is that is shouting you out or singer or whatnot. So. They're baiting them. I just messaged Odin's son. I don't know if he's working or not or if he's busy, but I just messaged him. How's everybody doing today, man? How's everyone, feeling for this weekend? Pretty exciting. I mean, like I said, we got our ass kicked yesterday by the Rays when we were up 4-0 and lost $1 billion, to a little bit. So started off good, but then absolutely got destroyed and crushed. But I'm always excited when we have something like this to look forward to. And this is actually one of my favorite pay-per-views, even though it's a smaller one compared to like WrestleMania, SummerSlam. This is probably my funnest, most enjoyable, smaller pay-per-view, even though it's not necessarily that small. I mean, there's a lot on the line. Someone's going to be able to get an opportunity, to be a champion, or at least, have that chance to cash in, right? So, but I like WrestleMania. I like SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, SummerSlam are usually the top three. But sometimes even Money in the Bank is better than Survivor Series, I feel like. Money in the Bank has slowly caught its way up to being one of the maybe elite 4 or 5 throughout the year. Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. And then I'd probably put Money in the Bank like there. I mean, it's, oh man, this is going to be good, baby. But I hope everyone is doing well. Love you guys. And really am glad that you guys are here. And, just trying to be able to kind of show people the different layouts. I didn't have enough time to really give everything that I had, based off cards and everything, but looks like this card set is much better than the lighter one. So I think we finally found it, but would have been nice to have it before the stream started, but it doesn't take too long. I'm trying to be creative, and I'm glad that we're here. So far, so good with this. Oh, shit. And then tomorrow we got more baseball, and then they got the NASCAR race that's in the Chicago streets. So, Ricochet. Oh, let's go. So I don't know. We'll see what I do. There's a good chance I'll do baseball after this and then baseball tomorrow, but I may do that NASCAR race, or we'll watch it, on the side or whatever. So we'll see. But probably we'll do baseball and then just watch the NASCAR in the background. But definitely saw them go around the track today, kind of taking some laps in the city. It looks incredible. I mean, not everyone's into NASCAR, but I'm telling you, if you have any slight interest whatsoever, this would be one of the races to maybe watch like 10 minutes, 5 minutes, just to kind of take a peek, because it's not anything that we've seen before. They've never done it in the Chicago streets. And the layout looks really cool. So I'm definitely going to be taking a peek at that. Yeah, I'm glad you did too, because I was only starting with the walk. I went down to the river. Me and Paisley were hanging out. And then as we were getting ready to go on the second half of our journey, you message. And I was like, oh, shit. And that was like 11. So then I still had another 30 minutes to get home. So I was like, oh, fuck, I got to hurry. I got to make thumbnails. And I was able to make 2 and get all this set up. And I'm glad that I had enough time. So shout out to you because otherwise, if I would have, I still would have went live, but it just wouldn't have been the same, not starting on time. You know what I mean? Priest! What? Come on, man. We want the brain buster on the fucking steps, dude. Logan Paul, he can take a little brain buster to the head, right? On the steps. Oh, nice kick. Crowd is nice. Oh, of course, Logan Paul. Oh, what do we got? Oh, shit! Oh, shit! You know when you end up doing those like frog splashes, you can hyperextend your back when you try to show off and you try to get that height and bend your body. I've seen it happen before, and like I said, and then you got no give here. It's not a table, it's a fucking chair. No. It's a fucking ladder. Oh. So obviously that probably hurt a little bit being Damian Priest right there, but every little subtle spot we get out of Logan Paul, that's really what it's about. Not him winning the Money in the Bank or hell, even winning matches. It's just putting on spots like that we remember, and that's why he's been brought in to talk shit on the mic and to make crazy spots like Bad Bunny, Pat McAfee, and himself do on the regular. Man, so far so good, coming out with a lot of electricity here in London, England. I haven't really got to make my breakfast yet. I was going to make bacon and eggs and toast, but I didn't have time. I was like, all right, either I get set up or I eat. So, oh, nice. And it's always cool when you get to see like unique moves or things, used as props, just like things that you normally don't see, so it's starting to get into kind of like an ECW or TLC kind of match. And that's always exciting. Yeah, what's going on down with it? Is it? I haven't had any issues on my end, but it's been having some. Twitter was down or something. You said I didn't have any issues with it on my end, but maybe it was something. That is it still being kind of weird or what? Butch, aka Pete Dunne. What do we got here? Yeah. Would have been better on the top rope, but again, we don't want people to get like seriously injured, right? You know who would be great in this match? One person in AEW that would be so great for this match, Sammy Guevara. Sammy is just like, Ricochet and a few others that got that style, like the Bastard Pac, Neville. It's like I need to be able to see like all these high flyers in the ring at the same time. Then it gives me kind of ECW, WCW vibes, but it's like fucking Sammy Guevara can do a fucking 720 from the top all the way and do like multiple flips and land on someone to the outside through tables. Oh, here we go. Everyone's standing. Love it. He said, the fuck is a butch? Oh, that's what they decided. That he looks like a butch, apparently. Yeah, that's a dumbass name, Butch. Keep it Pete Dunne or Dunn, or Pete for that matter. Fuck, Butch. Just keep it, Pete Dunne. It's nothing wrong with some names have to be made up or changed, because it doesn't sound good. But nice move by Logan Paul there. Nice by Ricochet. And I think that's with me, not being biased and not being a hater. Even if a lot of people just loathe and hate Logan Paul to like the very end, I get it. You know what I mean? But if we're talking about just entertainment purposes, he's a lot better than people want to give him credit for. Pat McAfee as well, but he's more likable, and Bad Bunny, more likable. Like all these guys that have come in, I can get some of the regular guys might get angry and mad, but one thing that you can't, really go away from is that they're skilled in their own right. For guys that aren't full-time wrestlers, they are athletes. Obviously Pat played football, and we already know how good of an athlete Pat is. Pat can fucking do anything. Pat can fucking play golf. He can shoot hoops. Pat is just super athletic, for a guy that punted, but it shows you Pat's not a punter. He's an athlete. So that's why he's able to do stuff like this. Because I guarantee you most punters can't do backflips and flips off the top rope. I'll tell you that right now. There's probably not very many. Oh, look at, we got Butch. Oh, nice. Good execution by Butch. That could have definitely went wrong if his foot got caught in the step of the ladder. Nice job. That's sweet. He said, the fuck is a Butch? I don't know. Butch has been pulling off a move, though. Woo! Love that. Let's go. Now, if Logan Paul was Logan Paul, but he was a terrible wrestler, but he just has the fame and the popularity, of course we would be ripping into him. You know what I mean? Absolutely. You know what I mean? Because number one, you don't really like the guy to begin with, and then obviously if he's a shitty wrestler, but he's not a shitty wrestler and he's good on the mic. I don't watch any of his shit. I never will. You know what I mean? But definitely adds a little flavor, to the match. But I could think of a couple other guys that I would rather have had in there, like AJ Styles or a few others. But, it is what it is. Yeet. LWO. Latino World Order. New World Order. For life, brother. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's slapping. It's fucking slapping, baby. It is. Just glad that we, have a crew where we can watch. And I imagine there's probably some other WWE fans and wrestling fans that normally would be in here, but they totally forgot. They thought this was on at 5 like I did. Hell, I even posted on social media in 4 different places and didn't even notice until Sarah told me after I was on a walk with Paisley, like an hour before this bitch started, that, better hurry home. And I did. So I would have been crushed if I would have been late for this. No lie. I've been waiting for this thing for eagerly waiting for weeks, because this is one of my favorite ones throughout the year. It's slapping, baby. Yeah, keep me updated with scores, please. Please do. Oh, baby! Nice Hurricane Rana. Good form. I love high risk. You know what I mean? It's like I don't need to have, weapons or props in every match, but that's the type of style of wrestling I enjoy the most. And I got more of that in WCW in the Cruiserweight division and an ECW with Rob Van Dam and Sabu. And that's probably why I like those federations typically more than WWF or WWE. I'm a huge Rock guy. I love Stone Cold, Undertaker, Mankind. I love that. DX, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Road Dogg, Badass Billy Gunn, Chyna. Like they had their moments, but I think overall, besides those main 4 or 5 big pieces, I think I just enjoyed more of the legends on the WCW side, faster paced wrestling. And I just think that the WWF, WWE at a point, it was, kind of slow. You know, it was kind of methodical. Punch, kick, DDT, body slam, pin. I need more than that in my life, you know? I mean, we're fucking football fans and we're waiting, you know, months and months and months, you know, and we need to be able to be entertained properly in between. Where's my boy? LA Knight. Yeah. There he is. I mean, is it going to come down to Logan Paul and LA Knight? Is that what's going to happen? Oh, I almost crotched him. Oh, watch out, watch out. Watch out. Oh, shit! Wow, that was a botch. That was a botch, and someone's neck could have been really fucked there. They are lucky that actually went through. They should have fucking set their feet a little bit better there. Holy shit. I need to see a replay. Oh, my God. Like, luckily, he was able to whip Logan's head around just in time. Otherwise, he would have fucked his neck up, and that would have been Ricochet's fault. I mean, Ricochet had to go flip all the way over, but if that was one table, we might be talking about a neck injury right there. Holy shit. Just whipped his neck around enough where he didn't land on his neck. That could have, I mean, I don't think he would have been paralyzed or anything, but that could have been something. Holy shit. LA Knight. Yeah. Brainbuster from the top. I mean, nobody needs to live in this match anyways. Wow. I've seen a lot of moves and botched moves and moves that have gotten corrected. But that was really eerily close. I mean, and like I said, regardless if we like Logan Paul or not, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see anybody get fucking hurt. Wow, that was incredible. And and this match obviously is going to be, you know, oh, here we go. Is it time? Is it LA Knight time? Yeah. Come on, baby. But it ain't going to be done easy. Shinsuke. He said, nope. He said, get out of here. Let's go, baby. LA Knight. Yeah. Oh, shit. He had it clipped, too. Yeah, you can't grab the briefcase when you got someone punching you. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh. It's like I almost am like anticipating someone getting hurt when you got, I mean, I don't really think we got reckless wrestlers in the ring whatsoever, but man. Oh, is Damian Priest going to get it? Is he going to get it? Is it him? Wow. And the thing is, it should have been LA Knight, but if you actually look at the trajectory, you know, of the wrestler that, you know, maybe giving Judgment Day, you know, a little bit more pub, you know, building the Dominic thing, because, you know, Dom's going to get booed the most, you know, moving forward, right? But you got Ripley with a belt, maybe Priest with a belt. All right, Finn, you know, in the mix. Wow. See, we started it off with a bang. We did not think that Damian Priest would win, but he definitely was one of the strong candidates. Wow. Not what the fans wanted, you know, and it kind of sucks for Priest because he's not, you know, being able to get that proper love that he deserves, you know, but he is a heel. It is Judgment Day, so a lot of people are going to boo. And, wow, not what I expected. Figured that LA Knight would get the opportunity, but maybe they have something bigger in play for him at some point or another. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Ricochet, you almost ended Paul's life. A little disappointed. I think everyone is. We wanted LA Knight to have that and have his push. But, I mean, Damian Priest, you know, definitely is deserving, too. He's very unique. He's like kind of a modern-day Tatanka. You know, kind of has a tribal Indian kind of look. I love the Judgment Day. It is my favorite faction in WWE. But just kind of wrong place, wrong time, and maybe a different guy. But at least it wasn't Logan Paul or any of the other guys. And this is the second most deserving out of all these guys that are wrestling right now. So You did. And like I said, they were starting to give him kind of more singles matches and more a little time. So obviously it's a piece of him getting a push, but also the fact of Judgment Day and the success they have with Dom and Ripley. And there's adding another piece to make this faction a little bit more powerful, and sometimes, Vince didn't like factions, right? But Judgment Day is one of the best ones they've had in like 10 years besides the Bloodline. So that's facts. Very, very, very deserving for him. Like I said, if it was anyone else besides those two, then I would have been like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? But those two are deserving. I totally agree. He's been putting on bangers for a long time, but then finally getting the accolades and being in that faction, definitely that was probably the tipping point too. But again, let's be honest, everyone wanted LA Knight, and I just kind of felt that we were on that trajectory. So yeah, I think any wrestling fan wanted LA Knight. It's just like you go to the store and you want to get a combination pizza, and then your friend comes back and it's pepperoni and cheese, right? That's pretty much it is. LA Knight's the combo pizza, pepperoni and cheese is still good, but that's Damian Priest, so it's not really what we wanted. But I liked it. If it was anyone else besides those two, then I'd have been like, what the hell are we doing? Right. That LA Knight, Damian Priest rivalry could happen where maybe Priest, gets a belt at some point, has a little bit of a run, and then maybe LA Knight beats him for the belt to catapult him to that. But of course, you want to be able to win things like Money in the Bank to be that guy, or girl, so that way, you can cash in. But also remember, just because you get the Money in the Bank doesn't mean Damian Priest is going to cash in and actually succeed. He might be one of those unlucky people that he gets the Money in the Bank, he cashes in, and he loses. Remember, that does happen from time to time as well. Not as often. I would say they probably cash in, 80 to 90% of the time, and it works. But like one out of every, 8 or 10 cash-ins ends up not cashing in. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Oh, yeah, the promo. And again, Damian Priest is not as good on the microphone as LA Knight. The promos would have been just insane. Absolutely agree. All right, I'm gonna go check up on Paisley here real quick. Maybe try to get a quick snack here while we're waiting. Oh, LA Knight. They betrayed you. They betrayed me. I mean, I had to put you on there. You're still the man. And you're still best on the mic out of everyone that was in the ring. I don't know. That's a great question. We'll have to wait and see. All right, is this where we fall asleep now? So we started off with the best match of the night, and then we go to the worst match of the night. So they're going back to their old format, right? They're going back where a banger right off the top, and then the second match is the worst match that no one cares about. This is where people go to the bathroom, they go get a snack, right? Everyone's attention is like, now everyone go get some merch and let's go to sleep. And I wonder if Ronda is going to make a UFC return. Because when Noon's retired, there's been speculation at some point, depending on what the agreement is with the WWE contract or whatnot, like how much longer she's signed for or whatnot. But I mean, she's much older now, so I don't really know what Ronda Rousey's going to be able to. I mean, I still remember when Holly Holm knocked her out, and that was kind of the end of her career. Like, it was like really, really good. And then, Liv Morgan, sexy as ever. Great personality. Kind of sucks, with Liv, worked really, really hard to be able to get the belt, and then the fans turned on her like 2 weeks later, and then they, it's like, people love a great story, but I guess if people aren't invested in you, depending if you're a face or a heel, because obviously she's more naturally a face than a heel. But at least they gave her that moment. Not a lot of wrestlers, men or women, get their moment. So at least she got her moment. She's almost too pretty to be a wrestler. She's like model-esque. Lenny. And I like Liv's gear. She's always really stylish. I mean, she always pops up in my feed and whatnot, and obviously different places that she is and whatnot. All right. Well, hopefully this ends up being a little bit better than we anticipate, but I would anticipate this being like a 5. So I think everyone else does as well. Well, I don't think we really need Ronda in WWE. I think if we could choose one person to not have in WWE, Ronda's number one. You know what I mean? Of course, I don't want Baszler to, necessarily be by herself, but she is better by herself. You know what I mean? It's like they're trying to find a role for her. I mean, honestly, Baszler could be a champion, at some point or another, but I mean, she's got more skills in the ring than Ronda does. But again, when you get people that are in MMA, and if they do that first, sometimes, it's hard for them to transition rather than being a wrestler and then going into WWE and then MMA after, but a lot of times it's like, you're going to be good. You're going to be good at that one thing. And then that other thing that you try, you might not be that good. I wonder if Liv's hair is real. Because with all that bouncing around, I know if it's like with extensions and whatnot. Oh, baby. She got really nice, long, pretty hair. Pretty hair, long hair, don't care. Very pretty. She's still with Bo Dallas, or did they break up? Are they still together on the farm? Because I know that they were doing the farm thing, and then Bo was doing business deals like with real estate and whatnot. Just trying to do side hustles and whatnot. Yeah, obviously, I already know with some of the other females, a lot of them do wear the extensions, like especially Becky Lynch, because obviously when you have short hair and then all of a sudden you come out on Monday Night Raw and your hair looks like Liv's, it's like, okay, well, I know that is not your hair. Some of it might be yours, but not all of it. Bo Dallas, he's a lucky man. I'll tell you that. Raquel is kind of like Baszler. Like they're a little bit more like strong and everything, but you can definitely tell with Raquel, she's got a little bit more like, femme, in her. She definitely, for a athlete that's bigger like that, she's definitely got more of an attractive look than than some of the MMA fighters that you're seeing here with Baszler and Ronda. I mean, honestly, the WWE could do without either one, but like nobody is invested in Ronda anymore, or the storyline, or her trying to cut a promo, or fucking up in the ring, injuring people. I mean, at this point, it's pretty much you're just keeping her on based off her name alone. It's like if you were keeping on like Logan Paul, but Logan Paul was terrible in the ring and terrible on the mic, but you just had a shitload of followers. That's kind of the feeling.
This is where the game plan of Baszler and Rousey has completely gone out of the window. Raquel's had some great one-on-one battles with Ronda Rousey in the past. Ronda with left and rights and out up to the top rope. And all are now applied. Referee trying to break them because they are on the rope. For Raquel might assisting with that.
Oh, heard the door open. I was like, who's trying to come in? Yeah, that's why she got the M. At first, I was like, what is she? What is this? And that's what I was thinking too. But I was waiting for you guys to see if you were going to pick it up too or not. Let's get to 100 in donos. Let's do it. I messaged Odin, because normally he's one of the ones that's always here, just like Lenny and me and Sarah and whatnot, and usually a few others. But again, the timing is, again, I think there's a lot of people that really assume that this was on at 5, unless you pay attention to shit like I normally do. But I mean, a noon start is really early. A lot of people are still kind of waking up and, kind of trying to get situated with their day. I don't know. I think Baszler's just doing her own thing. Like I said, when they do stuff, I don't think they're going to do it necessarily together, like as a team, like they're both going to do it. But I mean, shit, Shayna is like could wrestle men. Shayna's kind of built like a man. You know what I mean? Like she's very like strong, and like the way that she wrestles, it's like, I don't know, like, what I mean? There's just certain people that you see, like, I'm not saying she's a China, but there's definitely certain like women wrestlers that could like wrestle the men, and, it wouldn't be like not that big of a deal. Yeah, she's definitely one of them. But I don't think anybody is really invested in Shayna or Ronda. But again, it's all about either, who you want to have the belt, faces or heels, or, and I guess if you're going to have heels, those are two good ones to have together. Someone to at least be with Ronda. The people that actually had the MMA background. Oh, shit. Baszler. There we go. So here she beats on Ronda. Ronda leaves WWE and goes to UFC. So maybe that's what we're getting right here. The beginning of the end. Is this what we're getting? Because there's rumors that she was going to, after Noon's retired, that she was going to leave WWE either temporarily or I don't know about permanently, but she was going to do UFC again and try it out. So I'm thinking that's, and that's why something like that would happen. That makes kind of sense. Unless it's going to be a feud, but who's going to be invested in the feud between them one-on-one? I mean, I guess you could do that and they could do a one-on-one match, but maybe this is the beginning stages now to be able to have her go to UFC and make one run to make money. So, I mean, hell, she'd be more, I would be more invested watching her in UFC than I would here. 1, 2. Well, we gotten 2 surprises. We got the Damian Priest, and then we had a feeling that this might happen, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone would have been surprised either way if they would have retained, but just the fact that you got the turn, and then you get a belt change, that makes it better than just a belt change. And so now it'll lead to, are we not going to be able to see? Are we not going to see her on TV anymore? Is this her exit? Or will she be on TV for a little bit longer and then we'll see her on UFC? Or maybe we won't see her at UFC at all. But again, I was reading reports. I don't know how true they were, but I heard after Nunes retired that there's been speculation that there could be some good money involved in having Ronda do kind of a comeback tour to see if she could, do it again. I'm not sure if she could win. I guess it depends on who she was matched up against, but she is in shape still. She still is in shape. I'll give her that. You thought you were going to get a Raquel Liv heel turn? Yeah. Zoe Stark and Shayna. Yeah, that's very interesting. Yes. 1, 2, 3. And that's kind of cool for Liv, if you're not going to be able to get like singles accolades, keep stacking, your resume, and even getting tag belts. That means something. You know what I mean? It definitely does. It definitely does something, and it adds to the resume. Of course, Liv wanted probably that, run to go longer when she was champ, but it's like everyone's got to wait their turn. But at least that she was able to have it for a little bit before the fans turned on her. And her as a tag champ actually suits her really well. You know what I mean? And maybe instead of doing singles runs, maybe she'll just be a tag wrestler, for a majority of it moving forward. I mean, of course, they can always have her in singles competition in the future, but sometimes you just got to find your niche. Not everyone is going to be made to be a world champ or be intercontinental. Sometimes you got to take what they're going to give you, and if you're not going to do anything on the singles side and you're irrelevant, right? Or you can end up having an opportunity to be a tag champ. I think people would normally go that route. So a belt is a belt. Absolutely. I agree. I love it, man. And that's awesome that we're actually getting curveballs in the first 2 matches, right? And of course, they're going to, he should be getting, if LA Knight wasn't in the match, it wasn't so popular and over, I think they would have cheered a little bit more for Damian Priest, but again, when you get a guy that is like the most over in WWE and then you're, in the faction, that's obviously heel, you're going to normally get boos, but there would have been more cheers if LA Knight wasn't in that match. I think that they could have given him his proper moment, you know what I mean? But again, just getting the Money in the Bank is a moment. So, and you're a heel, so we already know that there's normally going to always be more boos. And I can't wait to see when Dom comes out, because as soon as Dom says like one word, I don't think I've ever heard anyone get booed more than Dom. But again, being Rey Mysterio's son, it's just so perfect. Being with Ripley and with Finn and Damian Priest, it's just a perfect storm, and it is definitely my favorite faction, and I'm heel all the way, and I love it, man. So, I mean, I guess what's next? If Finn can get an opportunity, I'm not saying that Finn has to have the belt over Seth, but, when Finn got hurt, he never really got a fair chance to be able to have his turn, and I do think it would be kind of cool to have a lot of belts on Judgment Day, kind of doing what they did with the Bloodline, but not as long, definitely not as long, but, making them kind of like the it thing, because we got the Blackpool Combat Club in AEW. It's kind of the it faction right now, and then obviously Judgment Day too. So, it's going to be awesome. Exactly. And Montez should go heel. He's another guy that could have like, a United States or, IC opportunity, at one point. He's super talented. He's good on the mic. But again, it all depends. Montez Ford is normally always cheered, regardless if he's in a tag team or not. But anything, going against someone is the most over, you're not going to get the same kind of love. So, yes. Burrow. Let's go. And I got my lighting issues saved for the moment. I got a light from one of the other rooms, and I have it pinned against the green screen, so we won't have any issues like we did yesterday. I need to upgrade my lighting. All of the bulbs are getting dim. So, original bro with the hair. He's looking like a kind of a Bryan Danielson look, except instead of it going right down the middle, he's got it hanging on both ends. Shit, I can't hate if if you have hair long enough to be able to have someone braid it for you or make it look nice. Why not? It is kind of ironic though. Him and Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, both ended up growing their hair out. And Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson broke his arm 10 minutes into the match. Not saying that's going to happen here. Potential rating for so what would we say that last match was? Like on paper, it looked like it was going to be a 5, but just the turn and then overall, I mean, it still wasn't great, but I mean, based on what happened and then the end result, maybe a 5 or 6. It wasn't. Oh my God, I'm going to remember this forever. But I do like the little heel turn, that extra. Because if we didn't get that turn from Baszler and they just won, then it just would have been like a 5. But adding that extra, like, wow, surprise, then that adds like a point or 2. So this match, I mean, kind of is like the last match. I don't really know what we're, thinking. Like, I'm hoping at the highest point, it could be like maybe a 7, but it probably will be like a 5 or a 6, unless we have some incredible spots in the match. Yeah. Gunther. Well, we already know he's really stiff. He's really stiff. Obviously, he's an old school wrestler wrestling in 2023. This guy would have wrestled in the 80s, the 90s. That's the type of way that he wrestles. And if they end up giving him one of the longest intercontinental reigns, it ain't gonna hurt my feelings. I like him. You know what I mean? It's as far as like, if he didn't have these other 2 guys with him, and and he didn't have, I mean, he's a plain Jane. I mean, there's nothing really extraordinary about him. He doesn't really have any cool gear. Just wears little tights. I mean, what's really separating him from all the rest? If he didn't have the belt, he would just be another big guy. You know what I mean? But then when you watch him in the ring, you start to realize he's like the Joker from the Nuggets. Just because he might not be roided up, he might not have that look like a Batista or like a Triple H. It doesn't matter. You might not have that roid look, but you're big. But again, we already know how good the Joker is, obviously with the Nuggets, and, he is the Joker of the WWE. Sometimes you don't have to have the look. Doesn't really have the greatest mic skills either. But in ring, I mean, he's like a modern day Sheamus. When Sheamus had his initial run and we were like, whoa, who is this guy? He's so physical. And then they gave him the run. And then as far as intensity, no one else is on the same intensity level as Gunther besides Sheamus and probably Drew McIntyre. And we saw them with the triple threat and how amazing that was. So, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't expect anything really on the Matt Riddle side. We would assume Gunther will carry this match. So I'm hoping it ends up being I hope it's an 8, but that might be stretching it a little bit. More than likely 7 is probably more realistic, but definitely hoping for an 8. But that would mean that we have to get some special things to happen, some cool spots, maybe some moves we haven't seen before, and also Riddle doing maybe some high risk as well to keep it moving. And we need both guys to sell properly. And I don't know how much experience that these guys have in the ring together, really. So we'll see on how it goes. But I'm hoping for a surprisingly better than we anticipated 8, but we'll see. But realistically, probably a 6 to a 7.5. And that's not going to be due to Gunther. It'll be more because of Riddle. No disrespect to Riddle, but, Riddle's only going to, take you so far if you're going to be invested in his character or storyline. Yeah, plain Jane, but everything's crazy, just like the Joker. Plain Jane, nothing really too special until you see them in action. And it says, don't always judge a book by its cover. And that's exactly the Joker in Gunther. And like I said, I don't see Gunther slowing down anytime soon. And I don't see the Nuggets and the Joker. I mean, the only one that's going to be able to beat them is probably the Bucks with Giannis, because those are the two best players in the NBA right now. They both match up really well size-wise. And I imagine we will get the Nuggets and Bucks at some point in the future. And then at that point, I will be interested. I will watch that finals and be really excited about it to see who really is the best in the world. Is it the Joker or is it back to Giannis again? But there's no one else that can match up to those two in the NBA. I mean, I don't know about fucking Wemby and DeAndre Ayton and Embiid. Maybe a little bit, but they're not on the same level. At least, we'll see. Maybe if Wemby adds a little bit of weight. But it seems like he's going to get pushed around quite a bit. Yeah. I was hoping that we'd have a few more people, but again, I even posted and then I didn't realize it wasn't going to be at 5 until now. So, but we'll do the pay-per-view, and then more than likely, I got to make up for donos and views and whatnot. So we'll probably end up doing a second stream. So that way I can get that in. And obviously I'm going to be watching the Mariner game anyways. I just don't want to leave Paisley alone too much. But yeah, so I'll be doing the Mariner game after this. And then hopefully we can get to a decent number on that one. Unless we end up getting some goats to come through on here like Odin's son, but yes, Race in Chicago will be phenomenal. Yeah, I'll probably watch that on the computer while I end up doing the Mariner game, more than likely, or unless I end up doing the NASCAR race instead. I mean, it is kind of intriguing. But I ended up having to cancel back the cable and whatnot, so I actually don't have the Ziply TV portion anymore. So I'll probably have to do the baseball game and then just watch the NASCAR. I can do like the in-car cam, and I can follow like Ross or Chase or some of those guys, and I'll just have it on the computer while I do the game. That's probably going to be the best way to go about it. Now, if I still had my cable, then I would definitely probably consider doing the NASCAR race. But yeah, but I am excited. I saw some action of them around the track earlier this morning, and it looks really cool. Definitely would be an event if I was rich that I would definitely go to. This one would be incredible to have been to as well. Riddle's like, damn, you're heavy. Oh, baby. I know this is just kind of a weird pairing. You know what I mean? I guess if you want to have Gunther just beat the shit out of people, you know what I mean? But I'm not really invested in Matt Riddle as a wrestler or a character. I mean, it's nice to have him in WWE, but you got to be able to have better matchups. This is not an ideal matchup for Riddle. I mean, at least you're getting an opportunity against Gunther to get out there. And I know some people like the whole weed, I'm high gimmick or whatever that they're doing with him, like an RVD kind of character. But RVD had a lot more charisma and a lot more skill in the ring than Riddle, so they can do all the the 420 references they want, but I don't know how many people are invested in Riddle, honestly. And I don't know if he really makes anybody's top 10 list, honestly, either, out of even the whole current roster. I'm glad he's there, but I mean, it wouldn't kill me if I never saw him wrestle again, just to be honest. But he is a nice addition to the roster. I'll give him that. I miss Randy Orton too. A tag rivalry. I don't know. I just want to see Randy Orton come back on singles. So if someone ends up dropping a belt, I want Randy to get in there for either this belt, for IC, or for one of the bigger belts with Seth or Roman. Like, Randy deserves to, even though he's been out, I get it, but he's a fucking legend, like for me, it's like, always going to be Seth Rollins, and AJ Styles and Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. There's just going to be certain people that I enjoy watching a little bit more. And, Randy is so dynamic too. He can be a face. He can be a heel. Much better as a heel, though. 1, 2, 2. All right. Well, that match was incredibly boring. That was probably, and I like Gunther. Riddle is, kind of average for me, but Gunther's phenomenal. But that was a match that everyone could forget. Let's be honest. Like sometimes honesty is tough, but I mean, that match, could definitely be forgotten. There's nothing about that match that's going to make me remember a year from now. So that was really a plain Jane match. Like, you look at Gunther and he's plain Jane until you see him wrestle. That was plain Jane match, plain Jane result. I mean, what was that, a 5? 4? That was boring as shit. Oh, what's this? Drew. Nice. I love me some Drew. And if someone was going to take the belt from him, that's who I would want. Or Randy Orton. I love me some. He's the best talking big man that we have in WWE or AEW. I mean, he's got a lot of charisma. I like the accent. He's good in the ring, to be fired and come back, and also to be champion and then not be able to be loved and cheered by the fans because of COVID. He definitely needs another run at it some point. So I guess if Gunther ends up stepping up and going to being WWE champion, right, and he has to drop the belt, I couldn't think of someone better to hold the IC belt than Drew McIntyre. But again, I don't know if that, is going to happen. But again, between these two and Sheamus, and even though Sheamus is older, I would like to see Sheamus have a run at some point before he retires too. He's very slept on, but love me some Drew even more than Sheamus. What's the crowd chanting? Normally when I hear, it's scissor me daddy in AEW with Mr. Ass. That's the only thing that starts with O that I can remember with the chant. Oh, nice headbutt. A little Claymore, baby. 2, 1. Yeah. And Drew can be a face or a heel, but he's so much better as a heel. Well, that's cool. I mean, it would have been cool if it was Randy Orton as well, but I think they have bigger plans for Randy. It would be more like championship. If Randy's going to be in line for something, it would be one of the bigger belts. You know, like honestly, giving Randy the Intercontinental, even though as prestigious as it is almost an insult. It's like almost giving like an IC to Seth Rollins. Like, these guys are the best in the company. Why are you giving them the runner-up belt when they deserve one of the big belts? You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, if Randy or Seth got the Intercontinental, they would appreciate it, you know, but they deserve more based on what they've earned to this point. Nice. They were saying, oh, Drew McIntyre? Is that what they were saying? Drew came back from Asgard. Yeah, but I just feel like out of anybody that's been really, I mean, you already know how I feel about underappreciated wrestlers. Like Sheamus and Dolph Ziggler probably are like the most underappreciated people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel bad for some of these guys that deserve a lot more, but there's this, you know, too many wrestlers, not enough belts, and it depends on if you're, you know, in the good with the management and the people that are booking, right? But Drew definitely deserves to be able to, you know, have that crowd reaction. It just, someone had to be champ during COVID, and it was him, but I don't think people really appreciated it because that was when WWE was at its lowest, you know, is when the fans weren't involved and the storyline was lazy. So. $2011. Yeah. Well, I think is giving Drew any type of positive reinforcement, you know, with everything would be good. But yeah, for Drew and where his career has been, you know, getting in the IC is not disrespectful. If anything, it's an opportunity for him to grow himself there, you know, and then, you know, maybe get a chance to be world champion, you know, down the road too. He definitely is one of my favorites by a lot. I really like what Drew does. And it's not what Drew does in the ring that I love. I like him on the microphone. I'm always going to go towards the guys that are amazing on the mic, you know, and if you're amazing on the microphone, you know, and then I got to look at your wrestling skills to match. So. Adrenaline in my soul. The main event? I would assume that it would be the Usos, right? Roman and Solo versus the Usos at the end. I mean, they built up that storyline so much. Why wouldn't they do that at the very end? I mean, unless you guys know something that I don't know, but I mean, it all depends on what they want to do for the order. You know, sometimes they do like the shittiest matches in the beginning and they get to the end, or they went back to the old format where they went for one of the top 2 matches, you know, Money in the Bank for men's to kick off the show. And then they did the shittiest match second, obviously with Ronda and Baszler and everything. So.
Take the top freaking sirloin. I will get the man-sized Caesar salad. And for dessert, we'll have the Cinnabon mini swirls. Triple chocolate meltdown. How about those? Genius. Applebee's. Now that's
Applebee's. So what, they get Applebee's for life for free?
She knows 2 spoons. I said what I said.
Add to grow delicious herbs. Step 1, use Miracle Grow potting mix.
Yeah, the Gunther match was terrible. You know, like, but again, it's sometimes not what the match is, it's what happens after. You know, those little subtle details that normally we don't get with WWE because they're lazy. So, you know, getting the heel turn, you know, with Baszler, that took that match from being meh, and then at least it's something that you remember, you know. And then obviously with that match with Gunther and Riddle, nothing made you remember that match, but at least you got Drew to come out at the end. So sometimes they have to, you know, have those little things to save the overall match. So, oh, here comes Dom. We're about to get the loudest boos on planet Earth. Maybe we get Cody at the end. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It just depends on what they want to do, based off their order. It never stays the same, with their order. Sometimes they, keep it one way, and then sometimes they flip it up. It just depends on. For years and years and years, it always was the last match was supposed to be the best. The first match was supposed to steal the show and set the tone. Second match was always the worst in pay-per-views, because you go from an explosion to, hey, let's go to the bathroom. And then it starts to heat up, as you get further on into the pay-per-view. So I love me. I love me the Judgment Day. And I like the participants that are in it because it saved Dom's career. You know what I mean? And obviously pairing up with Ripley instead of just being a tag with like Damian Priest or Finn Balor. This is perfect. It's perfect writing, perfect booking. And I definitely think Dom is going to get better and better, on the ring or in the ring, and on the mic. Will he ever be a legend like his dad? No, but I do think that there is a lot of room for improvement. And, he is going to be a draw. But again, if Dom is by himself, you don't get this type of reaction. There's going to be some boos, and whatnot, but at least he's surrounded around a great faction, and it's not just him solo out there where he might, cookie crumble, you know what I mean? Just getting, booed and not being able to cut a promo. But that's a part of being, a heel like MJF, where they don't even let you talk and they just boo you over and over and over and over. So not many people are going to get that response where those boos are so loud. Yeah, but yeah, I figured that they weren't going to have this match last. I mean, if you're going to finish off the pay-per-view, you finish it with Roman and Solo and the Usos with the storyline. Seth and Finn would be great. Absolutely. Even if you don't like Cody, it's impossible not to be able to, be a part of the, the action. It's crowd participation is everything. You know what I mean? And that really separates the good from the legends. If people will cheer along, sing along, and vibe with your catchphrases, that's when people are over, And I'll give WWE this. I was very concerned when he was on AEW after leaving WWE and how they were going to treat him. Are they going to treat him like, a jobber or like a mid-card guy? Or are they going to actually put him in the spotlight and not bury him? And they have kept him in the spotlight. They've booked him great. And it has been a success from leaving AEW to WWE. And I was very skeptical about that early on. But as we've seen, they've done great booking. And, he's finally getting the recognition that he probably deserved a long time ago. But sometimes you got to change, your gimmick. Sometimes you got to change, your look. You know what I mean? Obviously, Stardust ain't it, but obviously he got a chance to be able to make a name for himself in AEW, which was a part of his success here in WWE, doing cage matches and actually pulling off main event matches in AEW and making a name, no longer Stardust, but Cody Rhodes, and then taking that momentum, Uncle Mo from AEW here, and then lining him up with some good rivalries, it's impressive and it's good because if you pay that money for him to come in, don't waste it. Don't waste the talent. Even though he's got a little bit of a lisp, he's a good talker. He's got a little bit of a lisp, but it hasn't, it hasn't failed him. He's still a good talker, even with the lisp. He's got good charisma, great family genes. And like I said, I'm happy that they did him right. And if anything, doing that is going to bring you more ratings instead of burying him into mid-card hell. No one wants to come over from AEW and be buried in mid-card hell, and I'm really happy that they decided not to do that. So. But again, they, if they didn't book him properly, when no one would be doing that shit if they didn't book him properly once he left AEW to WWE. It's about who he is matched up against and having matches against Seth Rollins with the torn pec. Those are things that you're never going to forget. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to go toe to toe with Seth and you're on that level. And I know some people thought maybe he wasn't on that level. Maybe he was more mid card instead of like main event. And, sometimes, people just need a gimmick change, music change, a new look, maybe a new catchphrase. You know what I'm saying? Because Cody would never be this big in AEW. I love it. I love Dom taunting the fans. Well, again, we got one really skilled wrestler in Cody Rhodes and a guy that's just kind of up and coming, learning the ropes. So again, Cody will hold it down, you know what I mean? But what are we expecting from this match? A 7 to an 8? I don't know if we can get anything above that. If we get anything above an 8, I would be shocked. Because based off Dom's skill set in the ring, doesn't deserve to have a match like this against Cody Rhodes. But, for who he is for booking, and with Judgment Day and everything that they got going on and being Ray's son, it definitely gives an opportunity to possibly be the biggest heel in WWE moving forward, based off reaction from the crowd. And regardless if he ends up winning a belt, I mean, could you imagine him with any belt? I mean, the boos are still going to reign heavy. But it's very, very difficult to be a natural heel. And most people start off as a face and then go heel. Not really heel and then go face. There we go. Well, I wish this pay-per-view wasn't on so early. I know you'd have a lot more people in here if it was on at like 5 p.m., but still enjoying it. I am getting hungry, though, because I haven't even had a chance to get breakfast yet. But I don't want to go make bacon and eggs and toast and all that while the pay-per-view is still going. Do we have a certain time where we think this is going to be over? What was the preset time? 3 hours, 3 hours and 30 minutes, something like that? Four or 5 o'clock? 5-hour pay-per-view? I don't think it could be that long for the amount of matches they have on the card. That seems a little long, Lenny. But I don't know. I guess we'll find out, right? I was thinking it would end probably like around like 3:30 or something. 3:30. Like, I don't even know if it could even go to 4, but I guess it just depends. How many matches do we have left on the card after this one? Yeah. Yeah, I'm obviously me being here in Oregon, so yeah. So obviously it's 1:24 here, so. Yeah. So most of you guys are like a 2-hour difference or something, so. Female Money in the Bank, Seth and Finn in Bloodline. Nice. I wish I could understand the crowd, what they're saying. Yeah, that ain't happening. I know, like the announcers need to understand when to shut the fuck up. Like, you know, I get it. We want to have like the move by move, like the play by play, but sometimes, you know, you want to be able to get that crowd reaction too and not talk over it. But again, you know, sometimes it's unpredictable when the crowd is going to turn up. So. Wish Eddie was still alive. Imagine like Cody Rhodes versus like Prime Eddie. Like what kind of match that would be. You know what I mean? It's just like certain people would be so good if they were alive and wrestling right now. Eddie would be just a mega star. And there's a lot of Latino wrestlers that have come up, but I don't know if we're ever going to see one that had the charisma, you know, of Eddie Guerrero. And Eddie was hilarious, you know, like I said, he was such an in-ring character, and he was great on the mic. He could be silly, you know what I mean? But then he could be serious, super funny, you know, when he needed to be. Miss Eddie a lot. That was always one of my favorites. Very sad. You know, a lot of these wrestlers are no longer alive. It's one thing when they, you know, are wrestling and then they just retire, but there's a lot of demons with wrestling too. A lot of drugs and alcohol and substance abuse and steroids, PEDs, all kinds of stuff. No cheap shot. A little 619. Oh, he got caught. He went from the wrong side. I wonder if Dom is left-handed. That's why he went to that side. Because usually people will go to their strong side when it comes to moves and whatnot. So to do the 619 on the right side, obviously being right-handed for Ray, but then going to the left, I wonder if he's left-handed. Cutter. Crossroads. 1, 2. And then another match that was kind of ho-hum. I mean, the crowd is great, but the quality of the matches really haven't been that great. I mean, obviously the first match was fantastic. That was a 20. But every match after has been, You know, it's like I got like a 1 out of 10 scale. I got a 20 on the first match, and then the rest of the matches have been like 5s. Haven't been very good. Yeah, just like something I would see on Raw or like SmackDown. Like nothing really. I mean, of course, if we didn't even get the heel turn, you know, or if we didn't get, you know, Drew McIntyre coming out, then it would have even been worse. Then it would have been, instead of like a 5, like a 4. But the women's Money in the Bank should, you know, be good. These last 3 should pick up the pace and make up for the kind of mediocrity of these other matches after the first one. So if we can get 3 solid matches to end it, then we'll have 4. How many total matches did we have in the pay-per-view? Was it 7? So if we can end up having these last 3 hit, then we'll have 4 out of 7. The men's Money in the Bank, then the women's, then Seth, and then the Bloodline. So 4 out of 7 is kind of usually where they're at. So yeah, you can't have a Money in the Bank and have shitty Money in the Bank matches. Whoa! I'm just really interested to see like long-term booking. You know, who's going to be the one that take the belt from Roman? Is it going to be Cody? Is it going to be MJF? Like, who's going to, you know, is it going to be someone in the Bloodline? Like, who's going to be the one that does that? It'll be very, very interesting. I do like the Stone Cold Takes on America show. I'm a big Stone Cold fan, so anything usually Stone Cold or Rock, I'm watching. It's kind of like a freestyle show where people will write him and then they, he'll go do, their job. Kind of like a Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe, but more modern day and with Stone Cold. And then they go to all these different places and, I saw the one where, I watch every episode, but then the one he got to drive the Lambo and like the Ferrari on the race course, and he was in a helicopter. He's always doing crazy things. That's going to be fun for Stone Cold. They, you get paid, you get on TV, get to hang out with, friends, meet people, and do things that you probably would never do in your normal lifetime. So. John Cena? No way. That's a surprise. That's a big surprise for them. Wow, I didn't know if that was going to happen. Okay. I mean, the last couple matches haven't really been as good, so at least you get surprises to make up for it. It's a never give up. They got the G.I. Joe style with the and obviously with his shirt as well, all based off G.I. Joe. And you know how much I love G.I. Joe. I mean, I fucking watch G.I. Joe every day. Like, I watch G.I. Joe 80s cartoon literally every day. Either that or Transformers or a little Ninja Turtles, but I love G.I. Joe. Okay. Cena with a little G.I. Joe hat and shirt and towel. Okay. Cena. Yeah, and obviously if LA Knight was going to win, you could have ended the night with Money in the Bank men's. But if you ended the men Money in the Bank with Damian Priest, that would have been a hell of a horrible way to end the pay-per-view. Because then obviously the fans are disappointed that Priest won rather than LA Knight. So sometimes it's like the match can be a banger, but we have to be able to see who's going to win the match, and there's going to be timing, on when you want to be able to end the pay-per-view the right way. But again, sometimes they can end it the wrong way, but just with a crazy thing with Roman or Brock, and you're left a little disappointed, but we'll see where it goes. Nice to see Cena in the building. Whether you love him or you hate him, would have loved to be able to see him go heel back in the day, but the ultimate face. And it would probably, I think that his legacy could have gotten even bigger if he would have went heel and went back to face, but, surprise.
I think I'm the one that's surprised. Because I'm used to hearing you sing John Cena sucks. You flipped it around. You was like, my time is now. Can't see me, the time is now.
Well, so you're a legend, man. Once you leave the game after a while, people start to appreciate you. It's like, you could be in the moment as a face, and it also depends on who Cena was going against. If you're going against like Rock and certain people, of course, it's going to be hard to be able to get the crowd on your side. That's awesome. They need to be in London every year. So Odin's going to a cookout. Well, London's good. You know, Puerto Rico, Wales, Canadian crowds.
It's up to the decision makers. They don't necessarily know how to feel about London. Oh, come on. We're not telling you guys anything you don't know. They think this is kind of a hostile environment. They think that sometimes you guys are a distraction. They even think that you guys try to take over the show.
That's the best part, when the fans take over the show.
See that? They don't know what they're talking about. You are the voice. You are the heartbeat. You are not trying to take over the show. You are the show.
It's true, because you remember wrestling with no fans. I mean, if anything needs fans, it's wrestling and sports. You know, it's a real driving force. You know, they got that fucking building packed. But if it hasn't been open in 20 years, wow. Look at the upper deck too. You said one more match? And then all of a sudden, The Rock comes out and does a rock bottom. Rock versus Cena, part 3. I mean, if you're going to see two legends go at it, you know what I mean? That would be pretty sweet, even though they're both getting kind of older. The crowd is good. Immediately with the thank you, Cena. And that's what it's about. That's what we should be ashamed about in America. We don't have fans like this. The crowds are not like this. There are fans like this, but they're spread out so far and wide, you know what I mean, that you don't get them in one place at one time typically. I mean, there are fans like this in the United States. You know, some of us are those people too, you know, but we need to be better as fans. That's what I'm saying. Like, WWE fans in America are not very good. Not compared to the international fans or the Canadian fans. They have more passion. And it's not fake passion, like fake cheering. You know, you can tell when it's genuine and it's real.
So I'm here to try to bring WrestleMania to London.
Shit, WrestleMania in London would be nuts. But when? When WrestleMania in London? This year? Next year? What are we talking? When are we talking WrestleMania? Shit, WrestleMania in London would be insane. Can you imagine how much money they would make?
I'm here right now, not for one more match. I'm here because I know when they play those trumpets, people watch and people listen. And right now, I want to give something to an audience I love. I want to give them a chance to tell the world, to tell the people who make decisions what we already know. Take a moment right now. Let them see. Let them feel. Let them hear what WrestleMania is going to sound like.
So WrestleMania in London? So that's the announcement? That's why they had him there? Cena's like, who's this jabroni? So next year is in WrestleMania, maybe the year after that. Yeah, so maybe the year after.
Respect for you and everything you do. I've loved watching your career. I love everything about you. The jorts, I love the jorts. I'm a man of style, lad. Like those are still in.
Yeah, but if these two guys go at it, who cares? Let's be honest. I mean, do we really care? You know what I mean? Like, are we going to be invested? Like, Cena deserves better than this if you're going to have a match. Are we going to get the shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up? Is that what we're getting?
Cheer the people they're supposed to dislike. They boo the people they're supposed to like. Yeah, that's real cutting edge. I'm impressed. Never mind the fact that it's supposed to be summer. The last few days have been cold, rainy. I've got to wear a hoodie everywhere. If WrestleMania is going overseas, it needs to be somewhere beautiful. Good weather. Nice beaches. Good-looking girls in bikinis. I think if WrestleMania is going to go international, it needs to go somewhere like Australia. That the best you got? I thought you guys had Banner. Ready? I can see it now. WrestleMania Australia. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Oh. Yeah, wanka, 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 wanka.
I actually think I could get you a spot on the show. Hey, I know things haven't been going so well lately. You know, the last time we saw you, you lost to Austin Theory at WrestleMania. And before that, you lost to Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. And was it losing to The Fiend at WrestleMania? Hey, I loved how many that is, but it's okay. These people, they are simple. They only remember the last thing that they saw.
Fuck him up, Cena. Fuck him up. Oh, funny.
All you need, John, is one viral moment. And if you don't have viral moments, it's Grayson Waller. So what you need to let me do, John, is you need to let me be Superman this time. No, come on, guys. John, you've helped so many people. You've done so much. Let me help you save your career. No, think about it. Ready? I'll pitch it to you. The biggest Grayson Waller effect of all time. With my guest, John Cena. At WrestleMania, Australia. I'm not asking you. I'm asking you. What do you say?
So what are they going to do? WrestleMania in London in 2025? Crowd chanting rub.
You is no WrestleMania in London. No, definitely not. And you want me to fly to Australia to get a rub from Grayson Waller? That's exactly what I'm saying. Of course. I'm gonna pass. Nobody says no to the Grayson Waller effect. Say again? No one says no to the Grayson Waller effect. How about, can I enjoy some time with my friends? And before you came out here, my friends and I were trying to let the world know that WrestleMania needs to come to London. Oh, from behind. And what was John saying about respect a little bit ago? You don't turn your back on a rat like Grayson Waller. A Waller ambushing Cena. They're leaving Cena down. And talk about a buzzkill.
There we go. Get him, John. Bang, baby. That's got to be really refreshing for Cena, for being, booed, even though he had a fantastic career, the poster boy face for Vince, and, they had to choose someone, to be that face, between him or like Batista or Orton. And they made the right choice, to give Cena that role. Plus, with all the Make-A-Wish stuff, that he did as well and still continues to do. So probably was a pretty cool feeling to be able to not be booed, post your wrestling career for the most part. So, all right. Money in the Bank for the women's about to come up, and then we'll have Seth and Finn, and then the Bloodline. Thank you, bro. There we go. Well, we get a dono from someone that's not even here, so that way that we're not at zero. That's always a good sign. Someone cares about your boy. That's when you know people care about you, want you to succeed. Odin, son, not even in the room, can't even watch, still supports. $20 holla, bang, 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 boom, 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 bang, bang. My boy, appreciate you, the true OG, Odin, son. Thank you so much, brother. I'm gonna throw up a couple Fiend photos for him, even if he's not here.
How to grow delicious herbs. Step 1. Use Miracle Grow potting mix. That's it. Miracle Grow. All you need to know to grow. How to grow delicious tomatoes. Step 1. Feed them while watering with Miracle Grow liquid feed. That's it. Miracle Grow. All you need to know to grow.
This is the all-new Tempur-Pedic Breeze mattress, and it's designed to help you feel cool. So no more sweating all night, no kicking off the covers, or blasting the air conditioning, because only the Tempur-Pedic Breeze is made with our one-of-a-kind cooling technology that pulls heat away from your body, so the mattress feels up to 10 degrees cooler all night long. For a limited time, save $500 on all new Tempur-Breeze mattresses and get your coolest sleep this summer. Learn more at TempurPedic.com. 21 days of twists, turns, and triumphs. 21 days of yellow. 21 days of Paris. The Tour de France on Peacock.
Appreciate you, bro. All right, here we go. Money in the bank for the women's, baby. Yes, we appreciate him. $20. Let's get to a hundo. 80 to go. I like Bailey being a heel. I guess, I mean, it just depends on who they want to be able to give the push. I mean, if Io was a little bit bigger, as far as body frame, like I like Io a lot. You know what I mean? She's got dope music. I like Damage Control. I like what she's about, but she's a little undersized. So, I mean, I'm not sure if they're going to give her, but you saw how the crowd reacted to her, in Puerto Rico. Like, people appreciate the Japanese wrestling, whether it's, Io Sky or Asuka, just because you get other people that maybe get more opportunities and they get kind of left behind in the dust. That doesn't mean that Asuka's not good or Io's not good. Now, honestly, if they were wrestling in Japan, if you heard the pops that they get over there or in other federations, if they were ever to leave, I don't think people really realize how good Asuka is. And now, she has the belt. So some people are realizing it, but just because you don't have a belt doesn't mean you're not good. And then obviously I like Io a lot, but I don't know what direction they're going to go. We thought LA Knight, yeah, but it ended up being Damian Priest. So we'll see. So it's like you got next man up and next woman up, but like, what are we thinking? I don't know. This one is a little bit tougher. Obviously LA Knight and Damian Priest were more than likely the top two we thought, but sometimes just because we think something doesn't mean it's going to happen. It's kind of crazy that, for Trish being like retired, whatnot, like that they still have her like in the main storyline. I mean, if you're talking about a woman that aged really, really well, that took care, obviously of her body, post being a regular on WWE. I mean, obviously there's a reason why that, she's older and she's still doing it. Age like fine wine, sexy Trish Stratus. And here we got the man looking like a Power Ranger here, or an Oregon Duck. A little Oregon Duck, a little Lucha Libre, look at a little Power Rangers. I mean, if we're looking at all the pieces that are in the ring, like, Becky Lynch would probably be the one that's most likely to win because of her name and what she's done, right? Like, if you're looking at maybe getting her back into the spotlight again and giving her an opportunity, to try to cash in, against, whoever it is, Charlotte, Bianca, Asuka, or Ripley, like I said, we kind of have like a pecking order. And what are the chances it ends up being, an older vet like Trish or, Zoe and someone that's new, or maybe some of these other people that, maybe aren't as qualified. I mean, if you're looking at what they've done in their career, Bailey and, Becky Lynch would probably be the most likely people based off, if they wanted to give Bailey a push. But I don't know if they're really looking at giving Bailey any type of push at this point. She's just kind of manager, Damage Control. and they're just waiting for the third member to heal up so that way they can get back to, being damage control. So I don't know who's going to win this. But if I had to take my guess, like right now, before we get too far in, I would probably say Becky Lynch. It would be the smart one, I guess, if they want to be able to push her, because if it ends up being anybody but her, I have no idea really what direction that they're going to go. But I would assume now if it ends up being Io, I would be thrilled. That would probably make me the most happy if it was Io Sky. But I don't know. It might not be a realistic time for her to get something like this. But Rogue from X-Men. I was watching X-Men yesterday. Any other predictions from anybody? What you guys got? I mean, I guess it's depending on who we want, but who do we really think is going to win? And I don't know. When I'm looking at this, like when I saw LA Knight and Damian Priest, I saw a lot of people that definitely didn't really feel like they had a chance. And then you had a couple that felt like maybe they did, but I guess it just depends on who they want to give a push to at this point. Because obviously if you cash in, I mean, are any of these females like cashing in worthy against Asuka or like a Charlotte or a Bianca Belair or Ripley? And really the only one that's qualified is one person, and that's Becky Lynch, if you're looking at what they've done already, their resume. So if it ends up being anybody besides Becky Lynch, I'll be shocked. That kind of seems like the natural, progression of things, but we'll see if we'll get surprised again. I would assume Becky Lynch is the most, duh answer. And but if it ended up being, Bailey or Io, I would be thrilled with that too. I wouldn't mind either one of those ladies. But it seems like they put in Bailey more in like manager role, and mentor rather than having her try to get a championship. And Bailey is good, Too bad that we don't have Sasha Banks in the mix still. And that would be another person that would be in the mix. You think Finn's going to lose, Damian's going to cash in or try to cash in on Seth, and Finn will stop him? And then what happens after that? Then the show ends? Or it goes to the main event after that? Okay, so if you feel that Damian is going to cash in on that particular belt, if Becky Lynch wins tonight, who would she cash in on? You think they're going to kick Finn out of Judgment Day? Really? So then, but who will fill in? Or are they just going to go down to 3 members? They're just going to go Priest and Ripley and Dom? I mean, the Judgment Day, you got to have a 4th member. You think Ripley? It'll be Becky Lynch and Ripley? I mean, like I said, I know some people don't really care for Becky Lynch and whatnot, but, if you're talking about certain people that can hold the belt, and also with Becky, she is a little chaotic in the ring sometimes. Sometimes she's not as smooth as some of the others. She's smaller. We get that. But she is good on the microphone. And, some people, as far as the females, are not as good as her on the mic. And obviously, if you're married to Seth Rollins, you're going to be able to, kind of go over tonality and how to cut a promo. So, I mean, and obviously both of them are great talkers, and that's why they're together, have that attraction with each other and being great. Bray leading Judgment Day. Oh my God, that would be insane. I mean, they so fumbled the bag with Bray Wyatt. I mean, they could have gave him the belt. You know what I mean? And then WWE's popularity would have been so through the roof. You know, if they would have, given him the belt, the merch sales, but maybe they didn't want to go that particular angle. But that to me was one of the best original characters that we've seen in a long fucking time. Like a long time. And they fumbled the bag. Probably the worst out of any character development I think I've ever seen. So much talent, good talker, and being able to switch things up. And very sad that happened. But maybe we'll have another opportunity for something. I don't know. If anyone wins besides Becky Lynch, I'd be shocked. Just you got one superstar that has had, a lot of the accolades and has been away from the scene, just trying to get back to, being Becky one belt or Becky two belts, and it just seems like, that you got a superstar there, and then you got a lot of people that are kind of like, they're in the mix, but it just, they're just kind of wrestlers, you know what I mean? But Io would make me probably the most excited out of everyone. That's who I would want, but I think that we're going to get Becky Lynch. I don't think I can't see any scenario other than Becky Lynch winning this, honestly. Fiend was perfect. I agree. Oh, I'm not, dude. She's my favorite out of everyone that's in there. She, like I said, some people are really good talkers, but she reminds me of ECW, and she's high risk, and oh, look at this. Oh, baby. And that's why Io is awesome. There's not very many females that can do shit like that. Obviously, Charlotte, Bianca, fans love Io for her high risk, She'd be a hell of a lot more popular in AEW, too, if she was over there. She'd get a lot more love. But I think the fans are starting to go around a little bit. That match already ended. That was the first match. It already ended. Yeah, they're not going to give Logan Paul any big accolades, at least not anytime soon. But he'll have some good spots in the match, which he did. There we go. Fake hair, don't care. Oh. Yeah, obviously with the participants that are in this one, not as good as the men's. You needed to have bigger names in this. But a lot of the bigger names already have the belts, or it's like Charlotte and Bianca. It's like if you really wanted to make it where like you didn't really know what was going to happen, that's what you would need. Like, Charlotte, Bianca, Sasha Banks, and then you throw Io in there, and you throw in Bayley and throw in Becky Lynch, and then we're like, okay, then we don't really know. And then you have more athletic bodies in there. But I don't know. This one, the participants was not as good as the men's by a long shot. Like the men's match was like an 11. This is like, I don't know, a 7. I know they're trying, you know what I mean? But again, sometimes it's chemistry, and who's in the ring and the skill set that certain people have. So. Yeah, sometimes matches can be predictable and sometimes not as predictable. But it's always good to have surprises, but sometimes the writing is already on the wall. Like, what would be the most shocking shit of everything? Trish Stratus winning? Is that would be the most shocking? Like having a retired superstar come back and then, I don't know, that would probably be the most shocking shit ever. And I'm all cool for surprises, but I wouldn't want her to win. I mean, hell, if you're going to give it to someone like that, you might as well give it to Io. Oh, big super kick. Zoe would be the most surprising. But she's kind of like up and coming, though. So, I mean, like if she ended up winning, you know, I know some people may not be thinking it, but, you know, if they wanted to give her a push. So I think that, I don't know, you know, that would be shocking as well. But then it kind of would make sense if they think that she has something that they want to, you know, they want to be able to give her that push. But I guess it just depends on who they want to give the push at this time. Yeah, Zoe would. Zoe more than Trish Stratus, though. Like Zoe's like, okay, young, you know, you can make a name for yourself. Trish is like old. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I could see any scenario like, but I agree. Those would probably be the two most shocking. You know what kind of sucks? You know, just like, you know, at the pay-per-view, the crowd is like so good, but the matches haven't lived up to the crowd like passion. You know what I mean? Like the matches, you know, I don't know, the booking for this pay-per-view, the matches, you know, based off energy of crowd, I think they deserved better. You know what I mean? Especially when you're going to get this kind of participation and, you know, everything that they got going on. It's like, kind of reminds me of back of like the old WWE pay-per-views when you only had a few good matches and a bunch of mediocre ones. So now we're really going to have to bank on, obviously the men's Money in the Bank was really good. And then we got to bank on Seth and Finn being really good. And then the Bloodline match being really good. And then having everything else being kind of meh. At least that's kind of how I'm seeing it. She said, I'm a rock bottom your ass. Oh, Zoe. But even though Zoe like might be a manager, she's a wrestler. You know what I mean? Like, we'll see where it goes. I mean, shit, if you really want to surprise me, bring back fucking Sasha Banks and Naomi and have them come run down. If you really want to surprise me. Zelina Vega winning it would be a huge surprise also. What was she hitting her with? A sandal at Chocla? Was she hitting her with a slipper? Oh shit! Oh! Okay, now that just bumped the match up a couple points right there. That move alone. That's the type of shit that I need. I need that in my life. All right, I need big spots. Oh my God. And obviously Zelina Vega doesn't weigh that much, but oh my. And those are the type of moves and spots that you want to be able to have so you can bring maybe a women's, you know, Money in the Bank that was sitting at maybe like 6 or 7. And, you know, obviously Io had a nice, you know, spot. She's going to do those. Now we got one with Zelina Vega, which was cool. So now it brings it up a little bit, but let's see what we get for a finish. Oh, if Io wins, that would be dope. I would take that. Oh, Bailey pushes it over. Bailey getting a push would be interesting. You know, it's like she hasn't really been able to be in the spotlight in a long time to be able to get a belt. She's definitely qualified. And I like her more as a heel than a face, definitely. No more hugs. Just, you know, is she going to get it? No, here goes Becky. Just let me put the handcuff in your mouth. All right, here we go. Here's where Becky Lynch wins. That was an awesome spot by Zelina Vega. That was really sweet. Like, definitely brought that energy up, and sometimes you need those oh my God moments, you know? Oh my God. Oh, she handcuffs Bailey. Nice. Nice. Come on, Io. Come on, Io. Climb over her. Oh, yeah. Come on. Io getting it would be really sweet. I don't know if it'll happen, though. Come on. Come on, Io. I mean, the response she got from that Puerto Rico crowd was phenomenal. Let's go. Yeah. Yes. Yes. I love it. They're actually giving the Japanese wrestlers some fucking love. Well, I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone right now. I'm really in the Twilight Zone. Asuka gets a belt, and then they decide to give it to Io too. This is awesome. Yes. Man, like, you know, Japanese wrestlers have always been, I feel, kind of taken a second step behind all the rest. Now we got to get Shinsuke Nakamura into the fold and get him an opportunity to have a belt at some point before his career is over. But this is awesome. Best case scenario you could have for that is having her. And obviously, you know, they took notice on how the crowd, how the crowd appreciated her talent, you know, in Puerto Rico. And that was kind of surprising because there's not a lot of Asian people or, you know, a lot of people that watch Asian wrestling or Japanese wrestling necessarily in Puerto Rico. And you already know it's Zelina Vega's hometown. So you knew she was going to get a pop. But I was a little shocked that they were giving so much love to everyone, but especially with people like Io. And obviously the moves that she was doing and getting that proper love and spot. Awesome. Fucking love it. Fucking love it. Yeah, that definitely improved from like a 7 to maybe 8.5, somewhere in there. But then obviously getting the perfect person to win, you know, and I know Becky Lynch is probably thinking, man, that should have been me. You know, I should be the one, you know, I'm a superstar. All these other ladies aren't. You know, I'm the one that used to beat Becky 2 belts, but it's just nice to be able to get people to have an opportunity. And the fans approve. They love the high risk, you know, and there's not a lot of people. She's the only little wrestler that does high risk compared to Charlotte and Bianca Belair with stuff off the top rope. And what a feeling for her inside. This is awesome. I imagine just like when Asuka got the belt. Wow. Awesome. Okay. All right. We got 2 matches to go. So it looks like this is going to probably end around 3:15, 3:30. So that'll still give me time to rest a little bit. And then we'll end up doing the Mariner game. Man, that's awesome. Heck yeah. Lots of surprises in this pay-per-view, right? Lots of surprises in this pay-per-view. Like almost every match has got a surprise to a certain degree. Because no one wants to have things be predictable. Now, if we could have got LA Knight to win with EO, then yeah, everything would have been fantastic. But you know, they have been pushing Priest a little bit as well. Now, I wonder if Damian Priest, if he wasn't in Judgment Day, would this have happened? Probably not. Man. All right, I need to get some food here. Oh, we got Seth up next. Well, the pay-per-view, based off some of the endings and the energy and some of the spots, you know, it's slowly, you know, gaining a little bit of momentum. And I think when it's all said and done, I don't know if it'll be a 9 or a 10 overall. I don't think so. But a solid 8, 8.5, I think, if they finish strong here at the very, very end. I mean, there's too many kind of mediocre matches in the middle. You know, a couple men's and women's Money in the Bank should obviously be two of the best. And then you got to have some filler matches in there that, you know, so if they have 4 out of 7, you know, if it's 5 out of 7, then you're sitting at like 9 or higher. But if it's like 4 out of 7, I don't know if we can really give the pay-per-view a 9 overall. But we'll see what we get in these last two.
Every time I ran on the field, I'd yell, "Let's go!" But was I really going? The depth of this man. Sometimes I just want to run a car. Go. You know? I do know. I think I can help you with that. Really? Where you gonna go, Tom? Where you gonna go? Spin that wheel. Looks like you are going in another vehicle. Let's go, Tom. They got mountains and, you know, your mountains. Let's go. What is happening here? Who's that? The best golf is played here. Are you ready? Are you on? Streaming of the
Seth freaking Rollins. We both love Rollins a lot. Obviously, Lenny's more of a Finn guy. No disrespect with that. Right. I mean, like I said, those little subtle things sometimes, you know, help it make it a little bit better. So.
have to do that, and he will never, ever forget that night.
Who's your top 5 in WWE right now? Not like Shawn Michaels old school, because I know how much you love him, but if you had like your top 5 that you enjoy the most, men or women, what's your top 5? Me and Sarah's top 5 is pretty similar, with the people that we like, but and I do feel a little bit bad for Finn and some of these guys that could have been like world champion, intercontinental champion, having an opportunity to get a little bit of shine, but that injury happened at like the worst possible time, and sometimes that does derail your career a little bit, because then the next man up takes your spot, you get healthy, and then you got to get worked back into the storyline, and sometimes it's too late. They already have another juicy storyline going, and then you kind of missed your opportunity. So, but also sometimes it's long-term booking like this too. So let's go, Seth. I mean, besides LA Knight, yeah, this is the most over person. I mean, I know they do the, with Cody Rhodes, but I mean, again, Becky Lynch used to get this kind of reaction. Sami Zayn, anytime you can do a little, whoa, but like Seth was already getting the reaction even before the belt, because I think he's the face of the company, and he has been for a long time. Super disrespected for a long, long time. And it's funny, too, because we had this conversation, Lenny, about before Seth got the belt. And, when Cody, you thought, should win the belt from Roman and this and that. And, who's deserving of it and whatnot, And as big as Cody is, right, he ain't no fucking Seth Rollins. Cody's got the legacy and the name, and everything. But Seth is like a mega star. You know what I mean? Like mega, like I honestly, I think, out of everyone, if I could watch one person, I think it would be Seth. Seth is probably my number 1 draft pick. I mean, you could always give him, Roman's belts, and the company would be in very, very good hands, if not better. I mean, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to create a storyline as good as the Bloodline. You won't, but Seth's incredible as a face or a heel. Mike in the building. How are you? So we're just finishing up this WWE pay-per-view. We're going to have another maybe 45 minutes, and then I'm going to go live around 4 something for the Mariner game against the Tampa Bay Rays. And then tomorrow we'll be doing baseball, but I will be watching the Chicago race. Unless I end up doing the NASCAR race, but I don't have my cable provider anymore. So unless I watch it through like NASCAR.com, that would be the only way. So, and like I said, I don't know if they don't have like they don't on NASCAR.com, they don't actually have the commentary audio, I don't think, on there, from like TV. It's more like in the car cam. So we'll probably end up doing baseball, but I definitely am going to be watching that Chicago road race. Watched a little bit this morning. Look at this crowd. I mean, the chants could go on forever. I'm doing okay. How are you, bro? Seth, AJ, Finn, Cody, Bray. Nice list. Putting all the belts with Judgment Day would be kind of cool too. I don't want Seth to lose this belt, because he worked so long to be able to get a position like this. You know what I mean? But Judgment Day at one point getting all the belts, or some of the belts where each person has, a belt or is in the mix for a belt, would be kind of cool too. But you can't drop the belt from Seth when he just got it. At least you wouldn't think so. I mean, Seth is the most underappreciated megastar in the last 5 years. Shit, they had to create a belt for him. They couldn't even give him one of Roman's, man. So I'll go.
couple of rib injuries in the hands of Finn Balor over the past couple of weeks. In fact, last night in a live event in Newcastle here in the United Kingdom, Finn Balor, well, hit another hit and run attack.
This is probably mine. You know, just if I'm talking about entertainment purposes and never being bored, you know, I go Seth, AJ Styles, Randy Orton. Hopefully he comes back. Kevin Owens. And I kind of sprinkle in Sami Zayn with Kevin because it's there, you know, they're always together. And I do really enjoy Sami on the mic and in the ring. So Owen, Sami is almost like one person. Because I kind of have them together. And then obviously Asuka. But I do appreciate Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair for that athleticism. And I do really like Ripley, you know, as well. So, I mean, it's kind of tough, you know, with the list with just 5. I mean, it's more of a top 10 for me. But I think as far as like entertainment purposes, I mean, Asuka never really has anything bad. It's always very clean. She's very underrated. You know, Charlotte and Bianca are more popular, you know, but you know, like I said, I like the underdogs also too, like with Ripley and, you know, with Asuka finally being able to kind of break through, especially Asuka. For like Ripley, we already kind of knew that was going to happen, you know, with Judgment Day and Dom, and she is an amazing wrestler and has a unique look. You know, but Asuka's just been around for a long time and hella disrespected. And it's just nice that they're giving some of the Japanese stars a little love. Like, I'm a little shocked that they got Asuka and Io like kind of in the spotlight, and it's well deserved. You know what I mean? Like, you just want to be able to have, you know, every woman of every race or generation get a chance. You know what I mean? Not every WWE superstar needs to look like a model. You know, not everyone needs to look like they're going to be posing in Playboy. And they have a lot of amazing, beautiful women, you know, in WWE and in wrestling in general. But sometimes, you know, being unique and being different is cool. You know, I have no problems with Ripley kind of having a goth, you know, emo look. In all honesty, I love it. I like her more than most of the model-looking wrestlers, to be very, very honest. I think she's awesome. And it's good for the business. You can't have everyone looking like, you know, like a Playboy model or a model in a fitness magazine. Yeah, love me some Charlotte too. I mean, obviously Charlotte's gonna, you know, have the most accolades. And I like Bianca Belair as well. You know, she's entertaining. Oh, nice. Heck yeah. You got a hog. Heck yeah. All right, well, you're going to be cooking and eating good. So, yeah, I'll be back in, like I said, once this ends, I'll be live around probably 4:15, and we'll be streaming for probably like 2 hours and 30 minutes after that, or 3 hours, 2 hours and 45 minutes, something like that. And then we'll call it a day, and then I'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, and I do like Charlotte more than Bianca, but I think Bianca is really, really special. You know what I mean? It's like you don't get a lot of these people nowadays that have that type of athleticism, and it's like almost a mirror image of Charlotte in Bianca. But I don't know if Bianca will ever catch up accolade-wise. You know, maybe one day, hopefully, you know, she'll get more and more opportunities, but you want to have good matchups. And there's not a lot of people that have the body size or the move set like those two. You know, it's like they match up perfectly. It's like Rock, Stone Cold. It's a very good chemistry. You know, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels. It's just, you knew each of them were extremely talented, and they wrestle kind of a similar way. You know, very high risk, and they can do moves off the top rope. And there's not a lot of others that can do that on the female side. Obviously, Io can, but she's much smaller than the other two. So would we be shocked if Finn wins? That would be pretty shocking, right? After just, you know, getting Seth the belt, I think that would be a little shocking.
great inside fit, but he is a savvy competitor. He knows exactly where he's at in the count. That's a level of experience that has taken Finn to the top of 4. A might do against him. Balor again backing up.
I don't know. And I think a lot of the WWE fans, too, they only appreciate you when you have gold around your waist, which is a little bit alarming, you know, like I said, just because that'll get you the more popularity and more eyeballs on you. But sometimes it's that journey, too, you know, of not having a belt, even though you deserve one. And are you still, you know, putting out bangers? You put it in the deep freezer. Nice. Yeah, I could see that. You know, you could do that as well. You could do that as well. I would like to see, you know, all of them, you know, with Montez Ford and, you know, everything that they got going there with the, you know, if they all go heel, which would be kind of cool. You can start off your little faction that way too. All right, I just think you're going to get more out of wrestlers when they go heel. Not everyone is going to have that John Cena success as a face, you know. What time, Mike, is the Xfinity race? Did they do it this morning already, or are they doing it later? I've been so busy with Paisley and just trying to get things set up. Like I said, I almost didn't even get home in time for this pay-per-view in London. I love it. I love it being surprised. You know, could have been LA Knight and Becky Lynch, like the obvious, and they did like, you know, the other option, the second place choice, you know, for most people, or third. That's what, you know, like if Vince was booking, I don't think we would have gotten that. You know, if it was like kind of based on what his style was, you would never have EO and Damian Priest win in that situation. It would have been LA Knight and Becky Lynch if it was the old regime, I think. So I like being surprised in wrestling, you know. Sometimes, especially if the matches end up not being very good or the ending sucks, sometimes you need surprises to kind of keep things fresh. I saw those. They're awesome. Well deserved for both of those too, also. And hopefully when they cash in, they actually cash in and then be able to have a belt. Just curious to see like who Damian Priest will cash in on and EO. Like what direction are they going to go? Sling Blade. It's over. They're running the cup. Oh, the cup race is right now? No, really? It's not tomorrow? Oh, damn it. I thought it was going to be tomorrow. Who won the first part of the Xfinity race, Mike? I'm going to look it up now. Holy shit, I did not know that. I'm all out of whack, obviously, with everything. So no, the Cup Series is tomorrow, 2:30. I saw them practicing this morning, but yeah, so the race is tomorrow, 2:30. But the Xfinity race is over, and then the Cup is tomorrow. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't remember any Cup races being done on Saturdays. But yeah, I definitely am going to watch a little bit of the replay of the Xfinity. I mean, I saw them a little bit this morning, but not a lot. I only got to see about 5 minutes. 2. Matt in the building. What's good? How are you? So we're just going to finish up this WWE pay-per-view. Oh, Damian Priest. What happens if Finn wins and Priest turns on Finn and then gets the belt? Like you said, and then they kick out Finn. That would be interesting. That would be like a real swerve, right? It's one thing if like Seth wins and then they cash in, but we don't want Priest to cash in and not get it, do we? And we don't want EO to cash in and not get it either. I mean, we want these guys to be able to get it. That would just suck to be able to like get the money in the bank and you're the guy that fucking loses. Well, he's out here, but he hasn't cashed in yet. Well, they're not going to cash it in yet. Yeah, you're not going to cash it in mid-match. Oh, shit. Nice spot by Finn right there with the double kick. I mean, they already kicked Edge out, and I thought, Finn, that was a good replacement and whatnot, but kicking Finn out completely. I mean, if they're going to kick Finn out of it, if they were, hopefully he'd get like some kind of belt push if he was not going to be in Judgment Day, but I like it. I don't want them to break up and then, and I feel like Judgment Day, should have 4 or 5 members. I think that would be kind of perfect, and they're at 4 now, so. Nice drop kick. Yeah, you did, Lenny. But like I said, we'll see. Just because he's out there doesn't mean he's cashing in, but it could be. I mean, like I said, we like surprises. One, two. All right, Rollins retains. And then now, I don't think we're going to get a cash in here. I'd be shocked if we do. Seth's not beat up enough. You got to have that little psychology of things, getting jumped in the back and promos, a build-up. If this is the next feud, you're not going to cash in here. Got to build it up first. Well, the pay-per-view, like I said, started off with a bang, then had a couple shitty matches or average matches in the middle, right? And then it's gotten kind of slowly but surely, progressively getting a little bit better. And I'm thinking when we're all said and done, including all the surprises, I think we're going to be at a solid 8 when it's all said and done. And that's what you want, an 8, 9, or 10 for the pay-per-view, but you don't want anything lower than that. Now, if some of the matches in the middle were better, then we'd be definitely sitting at a 9. But I feel like those middle matches are what's going to peg it down a little bit. So, yeah. Priest should bash him in the head with the Money in the Bank. Oh, yes. Randy Orton. All right, we're down to the main event.
That's me before dawn power wash. Soaking, scrubbing. That's like, what is it like? Now power wash gives me the power of an overnight soak in minutes. I'm sorry, minutes?
Thank you, man. Yeah, this one was a little bit rushed, with everything that I got, but the baseball ones are really starting to kind of come through. So I've been really working to, try to make things, so that way we get some like cards, wrestling or baseball, and I can kind of flip it up and whatnot. So, and then when we go to like our baseball streams, we'll be looking at, something like that. And then we go here and then here. And then, so, I can do things on the fly. You just got to know what to do. But I mean, obviously finding the baseball look, it's bright. It looks good. We got, perfect cards that line up with the symmetry of everything. And like I said, I think we're going to get a good boost, with the baseball, and then the football streams and other streams will look like this as well. So I think we finally found the formula. Now it's just being able to find cards and a background that looks as good as this, which is going to be hard to do. And then I had my 87 Tops one too, but that one doesn't look as good. See, it looks okay, but it doesn't look streamlined. So it's like you got to find the right colors and match the white with the white and the brightness and whatnot. But I appreciate it, man. Yeah. Dylan Brooks going to Houston. He's not going to China or somewhere else. Yeah, but it's like a lot of times you just got to be able to find stuff that is going to link up and size up. And, if you go with the dark theme, you got to go dark. You got to go light. You got to go light and whatnot. And obviously I probably could have found a better, wrestling cards that would line up a little bit better, but I was pressed for time. So, but still, it's, we're able to mix things up a little bit. So.
First of all, congratulations on your victory last Friday night against Pretty Deadly.
Yeah, I gotta tell you guys, it's been pretty great to be here in London. And what big things have been happening. We obviously successfully defended our titles last night. Tonight, Money in the Bank contract winners, new women's tag team champions. And the crowd has been electric, to say the least. Thank you.
All right, what do we got for predictions, with this coming up? What do we think? So who's going to turn on who? Is Solo going to turn on Roman? Jimmy and Jay? I mean, what direction are we going? We've had a hell of a lot of surprises already so far.
If you ask me, I think tonight is the night that Roman Reigns gets exactly what's coming to him.
Well, that's the most obvious that Solo is going to do that. But again, the obvious isn't what has happened in this pay-per-view so far if you've been watching it from the beginning. You know what I mean? Like, we've had a lot of surprises, and hell, they didn't even have the person, LA Knight, that I made the thumb for. I think probably not just me, but the people in the room. I would assume that globally, I think probably 90% of the globe probably thought LA Knight was going to end up. I mean, hell, if I thought that Damian Priest was really going to win it, I would have put him on the thumb or someone else, or I would have, went a different direction. But sometimes surprises can be good. You have an eerie feeling that Jay going to go back? I could see that too. See, you're thinking outside the box like me. I could definitely see that too. The most obvious is Solo, betraying, and then obviously, Roman moves on and we see where things go and whatnot, but I don't know any direction of the bloodline matches, how they end. It wouldn't be that shocking. I mean, the whole pay-per-view has been pretty wild and crazy with a lot of surprises. So, I mean, and it seems like they're starting to go away from some of the obvious and kind of mixing things up a little bit. And that's what fans that watch wrestling really love. You can have a card and you already know, like, oh, this person's going to win because there's no way that they're going to have them drop the belt. But sometimes, when you get a curveball in there, like today, instead of LA Knight, yeah, it ended up being Damian Priest. And I'm not mad about that. But again, there's a reason why they didn't end the pay-per-view with that match, because obviously you want to be able to go out with a bang. And if there's going to be some controversy, then you're going to have to do it with obviously the bloodline.
For 3 years, one family flourished. The tribal chief and the
Bloodline, 3 years, man.
steeped in tradition.
Roman, the self-proclaimed head of the Hawaii family.
From the day that I was born, this has been my birthright, because this is my island. Forged by blood.
Rock and Roman would have been pretty cool.
The elders of his family.
And bonded in brotherhood.
The bloodline are as deep as
And I honestly think that out of all the former wrestlers that aren't full-time anymore, if Rock got plenty of time to, train, he's already in better shape than 99% of these fucking people in WWE now, because he wakes up at like fucking 4 a.m. and works out like a madman, and, is one of the most dedicated people on fucking planet Earth. I think Rock could have a very special match. It wouldn't be like a Stone Cold where it's just like, okay, and you just love Stone Cold. But as far as like actually putting on a good match, as far as like an OG, a guy that is no longer full time, I think Rock might be the only one that could probably live up to those expectations and actually have an insane match at his age, because his body shape and his training is higher and better than anyone else. So I don't think, obviously The Rock will be a little bit slower than what he was 10 years ago, but I think that he could still put on a main event match. All right, we're at the last match here, and it looks like I'll still have time. I already made the thumbnail for the Mariner game, and that starts at 4:15. So this will be over before 4:15. I'll get a little bit of a break, and then I'll end up doing that matchup, and then we'll call it a night. And then we'll do Mariners tomorrow versus the Rays at 1, more than likely. And then because the last game of the night tomorrow is at 4, Giants and Mets. So we'll probably watch NASCAR on the computer, and then I'll also do the Rays and the Mariner game. I wouldn't be opposed on doing freestyle streams, but we just don't get enough people to make it relevant, to make it worth it. So we just have to stick to doing events, whether it be games or pay-per-views like this. And then obviously if we can get enough people to do NASCAR, but at this point I don't have cable anymore, so I can't even watch the normal broadcast. So I had to cut that off, and I'm going to be moving pretty soon. So I got to do with what is accessible to me. So until I move, to that other location, then I'll be able to have the NASCAR stream on the TV. But they don't even have a spot on NASCAR.com where I can listen to the announcers like TV. It's just like in-car cam, I believe. So I'll just have it on the computer, and we'll watch that tomorrow. I'm really excited about that, and then we'll be able to do a little bit of baseball. Yeah. It's nice when you end up having a faction too, because like you can go so many directions when you're all a big unit. You add Sami Zayn, he's in, he's out. Let's get Usi, and then you can have obviously drama within the faction, and different battles and whatnot. I mean, it's just been a beautiful storyline from very beginning to end. Of course, no one wants to see anybody have a belt for 3 years. Nobody. I don't care who it is. It could be Randy Orton. It could have been anybody. It's just too long. You know what I mean? But at least they decided to make some new belts. And, we obviously got Ripley with a belt, Seth with a new belt. And, bang! And obviously Roman still has the belt. So, I mean, he's still going to have a posse, you know what I mean? Whether he has Paul Heyman still or not, you know what I mean? Depending on how many members that they have, And remember, there's also other family members within the Uso family with The Rock and Roman. There's a couple other cousins or other people they're kind of floating in the mix that I don't know when they're going to come up at one point, but their family is huge. And I know that they got a couple others that are kind of getting older and they're working their way up. I don't know if they're going to be a part of this storyline. I doubt it, but you never know. But, Solo benefited really greatly. Usos did. I mean, it's not just Roman in his reign. Everyone benefited from this bloodline storyline and this faction, including Sami Zayn, arguably maybe the most, because we actually got to see more camera time for Sami and how great he is on the mic. Facts. Stallions tonight, USFL Championship. Nice. Yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't get into the USFL. I only watched a little bit, but I didn't really, just like the XFL, I can only watch a little bit. It's hard for me to get invested in those if I feel there's something else better on. But if it is a championship game for the XFL or USFL, usually I'll tune in. I like to be able to see history being made, so. Hamlin wins the poll for tomorrow. And then also with the Usos, I mean, they already were one of the best tag teams of all time, even before this bloodline story. But if you look at just, everything that they've been about and their skill set in the ring and, on the microphone, like they definitely elevated themselves to an argument of being one of the best tag teams, not only in WWE all time, not only now, but also in the past, but also in wrestling altogether. It's really hard to really decipher, who the best tag teams are of all time. But I'll tell you what, regardless if you like the Usos or you don't like them, their character development and everything that they've been about, it's really good for wrestling. And I think without Roman and the bloodline storyline, obviously Solo isn't as big. Sammy's always going to be, a known wrestler, but that took him into like kind of a superstardom role. Same thing kind of with like Cody. Sometimes you just need to have the right match against the right person to elevate your career, or you wrestle with a torn pec against fucking Seth Rollins. And you know what I mean? It's like you got to be at the right place at the right time and to see if the WWE universe will buy in, to what you're selling. All right, predictions down below if anyone's got them. Twitter is being the Bootios. Really? Nothing has been wrong for me. Is it your Twitter or your internet or your phone or is there actually like a a thing right now, like trending, and Twitter is down because I haven't had any problems with mine. But I believe you when you say it's messed up. You know, you and me are on Twitter probably more than anybody. But as I'm scrolling the feed, a lot of the stuff is like older. Here comes the tribal chief. That's hilarious. Miami's prepared to offer a package around Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson for Dame and picks. Get the fuck out of here. I would rather have nothing. I don't need no Tyler Hero or Duncan Robinson. That's the problem with this Dame move. We're going to get a bunch of shitty guys or average guys to come in. Yeah, they're pretty good role players, but not for Dame, you know? And it's not like we're going to be able to get Dame for Embiid or Dame for Steph Curry or anything like that. So anything that we get, if it's not superstar for superstar, you know, I wouldn't even want Dame for Kyrie, but at least it would be a name. You know what I mean? And we already know that Kyrie decided to go back. And I know if Kyrie's going back to Dallas, I know that's not going to be good for Luka because Kyrie's a cancer. So they're never going to win shit there. So just because you have certain guys doesn't mean it's going to lead to a championship. I mean, hell, you had Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook, and they couldn't get it done. Too many egos. So. Three titles. I mean, at this point, they can just keep creating more belts and putting it on them. All right, baby. So we probably got, a half hour for this match, I would assume. And then that'll give me a little time to prep for the next stream. Man, I'm telling you, being a streamer ain't easy. But at least I have like my stuff already good to go. I just don't want to leave Paisley unattended. But I guess I have to come to that reality at one point. I'm not going to be living here, and even though I'm going to, see Paisley and I'll be able to have her like on a weekend or maybe even have her for a week straight, once I move, but it won't be the same of not being around her every day. I just hope that the other people in the house love her as much as I do, which I know won't happen. They'll show some attention, but for some people they come first, not other people or Paisley. So for me, Paisley is number one. So I don't know. It's definitely going to be difficult. And then maybe I'll get a pup of my own. But I mean, I do love her so much. I can't do two. So I guess I got to have to wait things out to see if they are able to manage Paisley and give her the proper love. But as long as I'm able to get her for like half of the month, if I'm able to do that, even if I get her for 2 weeks and then 2 weeks here, 2 weeks at my house, that would definitely make me happy. So. I am moving out. Yeah, me and the girlfriend, we broke up. So I'm just, getting things lined up, canceling all the other things that cost money, to, reduce the cost of things. And I'm going to move out probably sometime within 2 weeks to a month. So I just got to get everything kind of lined up with Ziply at the other location. And at this point, I just got to live with family at this point. To save money and get caught up in some of the stuff that I owe. And then maybe I'll be able to afford a car, because I haven't had a car in a minute because my other car broke down. So, but yeah, so I am going to be moving out like for sure, within probably 2 weeks to a month. I mean, when originally it was talked about, it was like, 1 to 6 months, there was no like rush or whatever, but I don't know how long people could live with an ex, for a long, long period of time, unless you're civil with each other, and whatnot. But I just need to make sure I get my whole setup, before football season. So that way I don't have any worries about things, And then that way I, can start saving and getting my life on track. So no, I'm not. Well, she's not mine. I didn't pay for her. So if I'm able to pay the $400 or $500 that was paid, to her, of course I would. But I don't think that I don't think she's willing to give Paisley up. So I mean, I spend the most time with her, but they still love her in the house. But yeah, so if I get Paisley, I'm only going to be able to get her for like half of the month or less. So it's not the same when I spend like every day of my life with her for 2 years. So yeah, obviously the build up. I mean, if I could take Paisley with me, hell yeah, I would. I mean, it definitely costs a lot to have a pup, but like I said, I've never had a bond with a person or with an animal like I do with her. Like, no lie. I've had good relationships, and I've had bad ones, and I've had long ones. I mean, hell, normally I'm single. The last 2 that I've had have been like 7 or 8 years. You know what I'm saying? Had one relationship that was like 7, 8 years, and then single for a little bit, then another one for like 7 or 8. And obviously with both of them, it's not like I ever was going to marry either one, and sometimes relationships can maybe go a little bit longer than they should, you know what I mean? But my focus normally is going to be on my dream, and on the goals. And then obviously with Paisley, and, and also, some people are good people. Some people are shady people. And, I'm not a shady person. So, all right, here we go. But but obviously I'm going to be grinding it out just like I was. But it definitely is going to probably help my finances quite a bit. Being able to not have to pay as much money fucking living here with all the bills and everything that's going on, and then being able to get some debts paid, pay some things back, and then try to get a car, and then kind of and I'm not looking to be in any type of fucking relationship anytime in the fucking near future. I mean, I probably won't be in one for, I can't even tell you, but I would say a minimum of a year or 2 or longer, probably. I mean, like I said, I can't have any distractions. I need to be able to continue to put Paisley first and then do my dream with this. And obviously, if I'm going to be focused on doing this full time, I'm not going to be able to give the proper attention to having a girlfriend, at that point, if that happens. So we're going to be all business moving forward. Plus, I'd rather be by myself and be happy than be with someone that makes me feel miserable. So something to remember if you're single too. Single not only is bad, sometimes lonely, but it can be much better than being with someone that's toxic or not good for you, or someone that's a hater. Yep. I mean, obviously, I would assume that there'll be, a few friends of mine, from back in the day that would want to, maybe hang out, go on a date, and, chill and whatnot. But I mean, I got to be able to stay focused. Just trying to be a better me. But honestly, I like being single because, like, I don't necessarily, I mean, I like having, the Paisley near me and, having someone that's positive in my life nearby. But again, I don't necessarily need to have someone there for me to be like happy. I'm not at that point. Some people, like, they need to have someone next to them in the bed, like sleeping wise. They need to have that comfort to have someone watch TV with them. For me, like, I can do shit by myself, or if anything, I'll have Paisley with me, or I'll get a new pup of my own. But I don't want to have to invest in a new pup. And then all of a sudden, a couple months down the road, they say, well, Paisley's a little bit too much for me. And then I'll gladly take her at that point. But handling 2 dogs would be probably too much for me. So I don't know. That's why I'll have to wait on getting a pup of my own to kind of see how things play out. But I mean, I would assume certain people are stubborn. So I highly doubt that Paisley will ever be 100% mine. So even if I were able to offer the money. Appreciate you. I'm always grinding, man. Like I said, you just got to be able to understand what's important, And I think a lot of people, that are like, if you're on, if you're a social media person, and you have like a girlfriend or boyfriend and they're not supportive, it's not going to work out. A lot of streamers, not only me, but a lot of even your favorite streamers have gotten divorces, have breakups because they're not supported, by that other person, or that other person wants to go to a different direction because they feel that the people are maybe putting so much work into their dream and their passions that, but then it also depends on the other person, if they're a cheater, if they're shady, or, is it a 50-50 relationship or not, So many mind games with the bloodline and the members is just great. I mean, even when you go back in the Attitude Era and you go WCW, ECW, WWF, I mean, I'm trying to think back on more of a captivating storyline besides like NWO and what they had going on in DX. I mean, this is the best thing that we've seen since NWO and DX, honestly. I'm just glad I'm a part of it.
Roman's got to be careful of playing to the emotions of Jimmy and Jay tonight. It's a good backfire. You heard Roman. There is no for what. There is only one. There's only ever been one. And the one is Roman Reigns, the man this entire industry orbits around.
All right, I'll talk to you later. Yeah, I got to be able to make some food too, man.
Roman now has Jay where he wants it. It took Roman about 2 minutes to achieve that.
Yeah, maybe nothing happens. I mean, there's no belts on the line. You know what I mean? There's no belts on the line. It's not like Roman has a chance to lose the belt. You know what I mean? So it's more for like storyline and entertainment purposes rather than obviously belt changes and anything deeper. So yeah, so I mean, we could have a clean finish. We could have someone turn on someone. I mean, who knows how they decided to write this up? Or we might, have nothing happen. Like Usos win, okay. Roman and Solo win, fine. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Love me some Paul Heyman. Right. Or we get the obvious, right? The Solo turn on Roman, right? Yeah, that's the probably most obvious, but we don't really know where it's going to go. That's what kind of makes it exciting, regardless if you're invested in this storyline or not. It's like you just don't know what we're going to get. And that's what brilliant storytelling does, at this point where you just don't know friend or foe, friend or enemy, and that's what makes it good. And I'm one of the biggest AEW fans that's out there. I mean, normally I prefer AEW and their wrestlers over WWE, but I'm not going to be an idiot, and think that AEW is going to have something like this anytime soon. I mean, any wrestling federation might not have anything like this for 10 or 20 years. We're talking about a generational storyline and booking. So they'll be talking about this like 10, 20, 30 years from now. Facts. Big slap to the face. Yeah, but I'm happy that Solo was able to get an opportunity to kind of shine because, obviously if they didn't have this bloodline storyline, his popularity is nowhere near what it is now. Now he would just be like another guy. They're actually really lucky that they have so many people like this in the prime, all wrestling together still, And then Lenny, once Roman drops the belt, he's going into movies, right? So we already know at the very time, whenever that is, now, not obviously today, but, sometime in the near future or a year from now or whenever MJF's contract is up or whatever way they decide to have him lose the belt to either, MJF or Cody or someone here in the bloodline. And then at that point, we're not going to see Roman on TV and then he's going to go do movies. Is that what the speculation is? That what's going to happen? Because I find it hard to believe Roman's going to have another feud after dropping the belt for 3 years. I would assume they'll have him off TV for a while. Oh, you didn't know? Yeah. Oh, he's going into movies. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many roles that he's going to be able to get, but obviously some of these people are trying to follow into The Rock's footsteps. But I think that, I don't know what type of movies that we're talking about. Not maybe necessarily being the star role, but obviously being kind of like a Batista character, in a franchise of some kind, like Guardians of the Galaxy. I imagine something of that nature, trying to be a part of something, And I don't know about necessarily his acting skills. His microphone skills used to be terrible, and they're much better now than what they were, but I'm not really sure if I'm going to go out of my way to see Roman into a movie, but you know what I mean? But I think that, there's certain things that Roman wants to do. He wants to try to capitalize off this, reign that he's getting. And I wouldn't be shocked to see him in like some TV stuff or movie stuff or, cameo type stuff. London is electric. I think the Canadian crowd is probably my favorite. When we had Clash at the Castle there in Wales, that was amazing. Puerto Rico crowd was lit. And obviously they haven't been here in 20 years. And look at every seat, even at the top, is sold out. So that's when the venue is amazing.
point is, you saw John Cena earlier tonight, how he treated the WWE fans, and then you have this guy.
Cool. They hated John Cena for about 15 years. They put him out the building.
Yeah, but John Cena never showed disrespect to anyone in the WWE.
Disrespected me on occasion.
Problem for the Usos, though, is that they have not really been able to get going in this match.
Because they're not on the level of Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. Because the thing that put them on that level is the tribal chief's strategy, encouragement, guidance, quality,
Cockiness. Tried by Roman.
Big kick to the face.
that's how you shut up a raucous audience.
Roman now cover. Kick out. By Jimmy and two.
I'm going to go get my drink from the freezer here before we get too juicy of action.
A hostile environment, to say the least, for the undisputed champion.
And admire how well Roman Reigns has controlled and dictated the pace of this matchup. This is Roman Reigns' ball. This is his pace, and the Usos don't know how to cope with it.
I agree with you on those points, right? I mean, listen, he has been champion for 1,035 days. He's doing something right, obviously. And Roman with a big boot.
All right, I'm back.
Cover again on Jimmy. Forearm in the face, kick out at two.
Roman doesn't waste energy, and he doesn't make mistakes when he's in the ring. That's what we're witnessing here. Greatness on a different level.
And when Roman Reigns has made the rare mistake in the ring over this 3-year title reign, he's had the Usos or Solo Sikoa to help bail him out. Solo with a claw, easiest muscle.
All right, we're in the main event. Slowly winding down. I assume we'll have another probably about 12 minutes of the match or so, unless they decide to end it sooner. We'll see.
I'm sure Jimmy realizes the tag has been made to Roman Reigns. But he does now. Tries to drag Jimmy back away from his partner and his fellow, Jey Uso. Jimmy will land on his feet, trying to fall between the legs, does. He's got an arm taken away now.
Mad scramble. Roman Reigns has control.
Has control. Oh, Solo Sikoa whipping Jey Uso away at the last moment.
That is exactly why Solo Sikoa
Oh, big clothesline.
is the best right-hand man in the game.
Ref gets knocked out. Somebody turns. Yeah, that's kind of like the MO from back in the day. Or someone gets hit accidentally. Super kick to someone on accident, or something of that nature. Superman punch to the wrong person. Superman punch from Roman to Solo on accident. We'll see where it goes.
If you had to score it right now, you would say the team that are regarded as the greatest tag team of all time.
Well, I'm streaming the next game at 4:15, so obviously I need a little bit of a break to eat because I haven't even ate breakfast yet. So, and we're already in fucking lunchtime and dinner time already. So I need to spend some time with Paisley, and then I already made the thumbnail for the Mariner game. So I just need to have this wrap up, finish on a strong note, and then we'll do another stream for about 2 hours and 30 minutes or so once that's over, and then I'll hang out with Paisley for the rest of the day. Oh, that's something. Yeah, never thought of that off the top. See, you always got to think, outside the box.
Jimmy drives himself to his feet with a Superman punch. Jimmy tucked Roman Reigns in trouble outside the ring. 0-2 crowd, sold out twice, trying to rally the Uso. Back to solo tag, the man of Jey Uso, and here we go.
There we go. Now, you can kind of tell the momentum. We're getting we're already past the midway point. That we're starting to get kind of the last part of the match here. Two. Yeah. Could you imagine The Rock showing up? That would be pure insanity. The place would fucking blow up. So. Damn right, Rikishi would be proud. Oh, Solo with a counter. Jay thinking he's Seth Rollins. Going back and forth. I mean, I don't know about how many guys would get a louder pop than The Rock. Maybe Stone Cold when that glass breaks, but that's about it. As far as guys that are no longer wrestling regularly, you're not going to get a better pop than those two guys, Rock and Stone Cold. But obviously Stone Cold can't wrestle anymore, and I feel The Rock can. He's in a much better shape. And he doesn't have a degenerative knee, so. Yeah, but this wouldn't be the place that you would have Rock show up. So, little double spear. 1, 2. Nice save by Solo. 2. Ooh, ah. Yes, I agree. So I haven't got a chance really to talk to you too much, Lenny, with everything that's been going on. I mean, we get together once a month typically for like wrestling pay-per-views. And obviously if I do some Eagle stuff, I know you'll be in the building, obviously, for some of that. But everything going good with you overall, with your personal, the mentals, everything is good? I hope things are going good for you. All right, here we go. Final stage, probably last 5 minutes here. And it shows you too, like, just with these 4 guys in the ring, they may not all be like the best wrestlers, but when you're invested in a storyline, like I said, like, you'll kind of let things go. You know what I mean? Like if the storyline has been good, sometimes certain moves and certain things that are going on, where you'd be more critical of them if other people were wrestling, but when you got it built up so much like this, it's like the match could be a 7, they could be a 9, but in all reality, you're going to be entertained because they built it up the right way. Long-term booking. You've been good? Good, yeah. Well, like I said, besides, me and the girlfriend breaking up and having me to move out and not getting Paisley every day. Other than that, yeah, but my mentals are good. My dreams are obviously still intact, and I'm going to stay focused, and I will be set up over there before football season. So I'm probably going to be there, 2 to 4 weeks, living with fam and just trying to save up to try to, either get a place of my own or save money, get a car, and then figure things out. I don't know. It's just, I'm not going to live with just anybody. You know what I mean? So Jimmy going to the top rope. And we caught him. He's fading. That's good to hear. There we go. Hulk up. Hulk up, baby. And obviously, you being as an Eagles fan, it didn't work out last year, but you already know you and the Niners are going to be very, very good, moving forward as far as the two organizations that are probably going to have the most long-term success out of any other teams in the NFC. Saints are going to get back to being good, and maybe we'll see the Lions compete for the division or second place, and Seattle should be pretty good again this year as well. So we'll see how it goes, but definitely the AFC's got more teams. Oh, there goes the ref. And there's no official. And then The Rock comes down, running down with the ref shirt on, and counts 1, 2, 3, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12. I know. Well, we've been watching wrestling for fucking, 20 plus years or longer. For me, I've been watching it for 35. So yeah, sometimes history tends to repeat itself in the psychology of wrestling and the way that it works. When you watch enough of wrestling, you can come up with certain theories that end up coming true, or if they don't, it's very possible it could come true. So you're on it today. Lenny D is on it. Oh, you don't really see tandem moves being done by the Bloodline very often, unless it's a double super kick by Jimmy and Jay. I like that. That was kind of cool. A little subtle spot for Roman and Solo to do together. Big. Wake up, ref. He's up. Oh, is he going to try to pin both of them? Is he going to pin both? He's pinning both. Wow. 1, 2, and the kick out. They could have ended it right there, right? Where's Rikishi from heaven? Where's The Rock? What's next? They definitely could have ended the pay-per-view off right there. And obviously as heels, Roman and Solo winning, it is what it is when you're the heels, and obviously the crowd would go crazy if the Usos win somehow, some way, cheating or not, All right, we're at the 30-minute mark. So I imagine it can't go that much longer than this. What are we going to go, 40, 45 minutes?
Jimmy and Solo bring the fight outside. And now turning savage. Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa with a nasty look on his face. Destroy him. That's the orders of Roman Reigns. And super kick. Jimmy Uso laying prone on the table. Solo Sikoa on the barricade. Jimmy with nowhere to go.
All right, Solo. Look at the kid trying to touch Solo. Get the fuck out of there, kid. There's no time for a high five. High risk. Get the fuck out of the way, kid. No time for Solo high fives. Super kick, which the cameraman missed. Superman punch. Super kick. Spear. Nice little sequence there. 1, 2, 2. The salmon spike. Ooh, so. Of course, it's awesome. You can't, especially with the, this, you can't, like, if you were going to have LA Knight, right, win it, you could have put that at the main event or this. And obviously, you're not going to have LA Knight. So a little low blow to Roman. Boom, super kick. You get a super kick. You get a super kick. And double cheeseburger. Double for Solo. Another double. What are they, the Young Bucks? All right, here we go. There we go. 1, 2. No heel turn, no switch up. I mean, too bad it's not for like a belt or something more significant, So Usos win, but Roman and Solo and Heyman are still together. So you still got, the bloodline with them, which is without Jimmy or Jay, unless we get a turn here at the very end. And obviously this was all, kind of written in, for them to be together, for them to be apart, for them to feud, to be a part of the bloodline, to like each other, to go against each other, but to always find each other, because they're the Usos, right? You know what I mean? So, but again, nothing on the line belt-wise, but obviously starting to see a little bit of the bloodline crumble, so to speak, a little bit, But ultimately, we need to see Roman losing the belt, and then the bloodline, then everything will be over at that point. Once the belt is dropped, then there may not even be a bloodline at that point. It will be over completely at that point. So, but then at that point, it had a hell of a run, a lot more success than most, long-term booking storyline that we've seen in a long time. So. Yeah, I guess they decided just for them to get the win without any cheating or any, accidental super kicks to the face or Roman spearing Solo on accident or, something, happening. Ref did go down. That was a good call. That's almost expected on every Uso match, though, that the ref to get knocked out somehow, some way, right? Some kind of cheating or some kind of unexpected, but. So what would we rate that as a pay-per-view now? What would we say? Yeah. Well, the London crowd was fucking electric. Yeah. I mean, I think if the middle matches were better, I would say, maybe 9.5. But I think that since some of the middle matches weren't good, we had some surprises at the end. But if I'm just being honest, I mean, I probably would have to give it more of an 8 to 8.5, somewhere in there. Like there was some really amazing good things like this match and then the first match. But then in between, some of the stuff was like, meh. I mean, it was okay. You know what I mean? And I don't think that's too crazy to say. So, well, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Now I got to get prepped for the next stream that's going to start at 4:15 for the Mariners and the Rays, and that'll be the last stream of the night for me. So I appreciate everyone that donated with Odin's Son and everyone that watched. And I'll be back here in about 40 minutes or so, 30, 40 minutes, and then we'll grind it out for one more stream. I'm going to do the Mariners and the Rays. We got absolutely obliterated yesterday. And then there we go. So, but I appreciate you guys. What a hell of a pay-per-view. And I will be back very, very shortly. And I'll be starting probably around 4:10, 4:15 for the next stream. So I love you guys and I appreciate you guys. And I got one question for you. Well, talk sports like us. Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang. Oh, I got to put up the correct one. We got to go here. There we go. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. And I'll be back very, very soon. Gang.